What is going on, everybody? It is every other Wednesday night here on Three Star Draw, and you know what that means. This Wednesday, it is time for the backyard battlefield with me and my homie to the north,
So go hi.
who is steadily trying to get his camera adjusted. So, what's
It
going on
fell.
tonight, man?
Yeah, well, my camera fell as soon as we were talking. It was like boom. So
Pulled a Matthew Matson, huh?
yeah. It's the live rule, guys. You're always ready till it's time.
This is true. If you're ready to go, you can be back here talking for 30 minutes, and as soon as you hit go live, something screws up. So, but
100p.
that that's known as a Matthew Matson, especially if you are using your phone and your camera falls. So, just in case anybody didn't know.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What you working on?
I am just keeping my hands busy, painting a lot of plastic and not plastic, foam and wood. Working on a castle, and I've been thinking about a lot of figs lately. Well, that's about it. What's on with you?
Oh, not much. Just the Wednesday midweek grind, but it's the end of the month and I'm ahead, so I'm kind of coasting. So that means tomorrow something will probably go tragically wrong and get home late the next 2 days. But that's how it goes. So it's going all right though, man. Just sitting here waiting on dial tone.
Yeah, and I'm waiting on Leatherneck. So
It's so sad. I have two sitting
why?
right here, and you can't find a damn dial tone around here for nothing.
And I saw extras at my GameStop the other day, and it's just why do they do that? Why do they do this? Do they have a deal with the border guys that no friends send each other stuff? And
Oh man, they sure make it hard. That's for sure.
they
I got to
do.
say this has got to be the most screwed up wave release since I started collecting this line. And it seems like I say that every time, but
I was
this
gonna say,
time
man,
has surpassed the last one.
I don't know. It's every time you think it just can't get more fucked up than it is. Oh, we're not even 5 minutes in. More messed up than it is. It gets more messed up, but I've just come to expect it. Hasbro is nowhere near a perfect company when it comes to their toys, but they definitely are worth the wait when they do get here usually. So
Usually they
yeah,
are.
usually.
I feel like they're getting better. I do a lot less complaining these days, but um,
Mm,
so yeah, just waiting on him. And I see we're gonna get to the chat in just a second, but I just throw
mhm.
Eric's comment up here. New wave hasn't hit here yet. It hasn't hit anywhere here either in retail, and I mean it probably never will. I still have never seen Iron Grenadiers or Storm Shadow or Alpine or any of those. I haven't
Really?
seen any of those in a Walmart or a Target here. None of
Yeah.
them.
No, that's fair. It seems like every Walmart out here is giving up on classified, except for the ones on the opposite side of the city from me. But
Yeah. Now some of the specialty shops that can order through distributors, I mean, they'll probably have them, but I only really go in two, and one doesn't order from distributors, and I don't think I don't think the other one has been ordering from classifieds. They canceled his order. Was Yojo Depot. They canceled this wave. He had them ordered, I think he said through Entertainment Earth, and because of this
really,
jacked up distribution, they canceled his pre-order for this wave.
I've been hearing more and more people say my pre-orders got canceled, and I have no idea why. And
Yeah,
that's kind of
it's
scary. I've never had a problem with GameStop. Oh, dudes, GameStop. Make friends with your local GameStop staff members, and they'll always make sure they get on those pre-orders for you. I find, but
they're not as like customer experience tailored here as the one that you go to. It sounds like
No,
here. I
they're
mean, if you go in every once a week or a couple times a week, probably. But I don't really know anybody that does GameStop that way
oh,
here.
that's
So
all I
it
do. Yeah.
yeah, they're a lot less like I don't want to say friendly. Some of them are friendly, but like they're not going to know your name. They might recognize you if you wear the same hat in there or something. But
Oh, I don't think I want Canada to join the States. If your GameStops don't know people's names, that's rude.
uh,
Rude.
the ones that I fool with really don't. I'm sure there's probably some somewhere that do, but I don't.
Wow.
I got like six of them within 30 minutes of me, and I don't go in them unless I'm near them. So
Oh,
don't
jeez,
make
man,
a
no.
point.
Hmm.
So let's go ahead and say what's up to the chat. They've been waiting for a little bit. We got a few people
Sure.
watching. So got a son of a crayon slayer. Hey now, Wraith Mace in the house. Let's go. Menjoza is here. What's going on, Menjoza?
Nice.
Gaslands mechanic. What's up, man?
Just got
Let's
your
see.
messages right before this there, Gaslands. Was just saying to down south, I'm like, I can't even answer them. We're about to go on.
Derek Holloman's here. Good evening. And then we've already said hi to Eric, who said he came for the rap music. We might do that one night. We maybe can get Crow to join a verse or something. So he's good at writing. So uh Roman Graham, what's happening, guys? Just had snow here last week in South Carolina, and now it's spring in the 70s. Yeah,
Oh,
I always like to ask, ask you how the weather is up there, and I was actually going to. I just wanted to go through the chat, but pretty much
yeah.
the same here in Tennessee, Roman. We had snow 2 weeks ago. We were complaining. I was talking about how cold this room gets, and today it was like 66 and I mean, it's a gorgeous day. It's supposed to be 71 here Monday. So it's insane. Bobby Wald, let's see. No, because I don't want my GI Joe figures to be $38. If Hasbro does end up licensing GI Joe out, I wouldn't mind seeing what Fresh Monkey Fiction can do.
Oh, we all know who would chomp at the bit to go get that contract.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you mean.
It would put an end to
Oh
a certain war for sure.
yeah, I don't, maybe not just out of spite. So I don't
Anyway,
want to be the savior.
that's a that's
Uh,
a big subject.
yeah.
Yeah,
Todd C is here. What's going on? You're only miserable when your expectations are too high. Well, I set mine high, so
that's
for
fair.
for this, so it's expendable income, and I want to see it. You know, I don't want to say used wisely. I want to see it enjoyed. So, um, Aaron the Toy Enhancer is here. Says GameStop for the win, and that's how it's been lately. Except
Yep.
with this wave, they were just as behind as everybody else. Although they have shipped them now. Have you gotten dial tone from them, Aaron? Because he is out through them. He's just unavailable. I didn't order him through GameStop this time. I ordered him through Pulse and Walmart. Uh, Pulse sent my shipping, like your item's going to ship soon thing, that had the
Mhm.
same date as when they sent it in December. It was the
Oh, I
same.
remember you were talking. Yeah,
It was the same
default.
thing.
Yeah,
It
just
just would.
some new
It's,
intern just got tasked with sending that out, eh? And they just said copy and
yeah,
paste the old one.
yeah, yeah, and that's they literally just like the text
Yeah.
and the picture. They just swapped
Yeah.
them. But I got the email that he's about to ship, but so far I haven't been charged for him. So that
Well,
means we're 5 to 7 days away at least.
yeah, and it's weird that like the way it is, because I mean, you and I being neighbors, you can see that they've made a clear decision. Canada will get dial tone on this date, states this date, and they did vice versa with Leatherneck up here, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you pick one out of a four-figure wave? And then we're Like, because I know I talked to GameStop. I'm getting Leatherneck isn't expected till the first week of February, right? So
Yeah,
this week coming, I expect that's probably going to be the case with your dial tones when you see them. And I'm like, the hell,
yeah.
two at a
And
time I could understand, but why just one figure out of that wave?
I've got a theory on that, and it's something that I had heard
Hmm.
Punk say here a while back. Menjoza, what's going on? Let's see. Mr. Madgus in the house.
Going
GameStop
on?
connection quit for a better job a few months back. That sucks. And I did see Eric said they know me at his GameStop. I'm sure some of them do. I mean, if I had one like right by me and I went in it all the time, I'm sure they'd know. But
Yeah.
for me personally, I don't go in them enough. So Aaron says he's still waiting. So I think what happened, and I heard Punk mention it, I don't know, a couple 3 weeks ago, was he he mentioned, and I think maybe it was Sarge and Red's, the store that he goes to all the time, had mentioned that they're coming in mixed assortments. Like the wave is mixed, and then they're also sending straight cases of figures.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why a few dial tones got out, but most places haven't gotten him yet for some reason.
Hmm.
But he's like the only one that hasn't shipped. Yeah, I think people from Amazon, I think Amazon shipped him. But GameStop just started, and like I said, Pulse, man, last to sell their own product. How
Yeah.
though Leatherneck and Saw Viper though,
Hmm.
they sent me when they shipped the those two that I got from them, and they came DHL and post office. I don't know what changed, but they were here in, I want to say, like 4 days.
That's
That's
a
that's a record for using DHL.
Yeah, so I've been listening. I know you've had bad experiences with DHL, and I'm not home when the delivery came, so I didn't realize, but we're using DHL out here too for Hasbro Pulse orders up here in Ottawa. And yeah, I'm looking at a 5 to 6 day turnaround between the order and the execution, and sometimes it's been even faster than that. So I didn't really always know what you meant by the DHL issue,
Yeah.
right?
Well, when they were shipping straight, just when everything was coming FedEx, I
Mhm.
would usually have it 3 days after I got the left the building email. It would be here the third day that the mail runs after that. When they switched to DHL, I've had it take, I think the longest was 9 days after
Okay.
getting that email. But this last one, they did use DHL, and I mean it was here on the fourth day. So maybe whatever that issue was, maybe they've resolved it. I don't know. I can only hope so, because man, their DHL is the worst.
Well, they'll get the DHL issue figured out, and then Hasbro will change something.
That's right. Uh, Eric says, I would like to get Saw Viper in the wild. I'd just like to see him in the wild.
Yeah.
um, but if I saw one in the wild, I might buy another one just so I can say, hey, I actually found a new figure somewhere. Um,
So I'm feeling like Saw Viper is turning into the figure everybody wants because they hate it that much that they love it. Do you know what I mean? Like everything I've heard about it has been how ridiculous the character is, yet everybody wants it.
he is sold the hell out in most places. All of them are actually. So
Yeah.
Bobby Wald sneaking in here. Yeah, December 30th. And J Astro, Pulse is fucking worthless. Got my dial tone via Toy Arena. Okay, good deal.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm still eagerly awaiting him. Saw Viper, the more I look at the figure, I mean, you guys know it goes back to what was it, Todd, that said, you yeah, set your expectations too high and you're going to be miserable. You're going to be disappointed. Well, I definitely did that with Saw Viper. So I made
Huh.
no bones about I wasn't real pleased with some of the design choices they went with. I got to say, though, man, the more I look at him, he is growing on me.
Yeah, he's one of the few characters where I'm like, I freely take Kid off. Like, yeah, I'll put him on with the helmet on, but I like him better without it. But he has places where yeah, exactly. You're doing the same thing. There's places where he looks really strong, and one of them I found was sitting beside Scrap Iron. Like, put a Saw Viper next to Scrap Iron, and they look like they're meant to be together.
Hang on,
And
I'm gonna
there
get a
you go.
better look at that because I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah. There's a
That yeah,
lot of
they do.
uniformity. Yeah, so I usually just sit the both of them next to that. But I'm doing Viper squads now. I've said screw it. Like, if when you I my troop builds are max 5, and I look at like 3 troops and 2 bats if I need bats, because they're there. But with the Saw Vipers, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna stick them with those retro Vipers when they come out and call that a
Yeah,
squad. Yeah.
yeah.
And Scrap Iron.
Derek says I love my Saw Viper, and Mr. Madness says Saw Viper, aka Not
Not
Top
Top
Goon.
Goon.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I can't unsee it now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's him. Where's that dude been? He
Now we need the
vanished.
mask back on.
Haven't seen Not Top Goon for a while. He vanished.
Everybody, maybe he's just taking a break. It's
Maybe.
good to take a break. It's bad for the algorithm, but it's good for you.
I don't think the algorithm gives a shit in my case, be
Uh,
honest with you. It's gotten a little bit better though, I can tell. You can always tell when it's throwing you a freaking bone. You can always tell when it decides it likes you that week.
yeah, yeah, it notices. And if you're not noticing it, then you're doing everything right.
Yes. Yeah, if you have no idea, keep it that way cuz it's
Yeah,
probably for the better.
it's just
Um
something we keep learning the hard way.
yeah, right. And we keep talking about it, but
Eh.
um yeah, these guys, man, this has been a really solid wave. I mean, I have, like I said, I don't have dial tone, you don't have leatherneck, but the three that I've got, this is
Mhm.
a good wave, and we're gonna talk about the next one that we heard about that sounds like a pretty damn solid wave too. We'll talk
Yeah,
about those in a few minutes.
yeah.
Take a sip of my coffee here.
Yeah, I'm excited for that next wave, and I mean, it's the names that were dropped recently and other things like that, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I,
Crow says it's okay. You guys let me know if my sound is jacked up because I'm using a new device I've never used before that I'm running all my audio through. So, yeah, let me know if it's too loud or too low or whatever.
yeah, you turned into a regular damn mainframe over there. All this new tech, all hooked up.
if I can only find a Zorana. No,
Yeah.
yeah. Some things I wanted to do on the stream and with the stream and things, and Pop Blender hooked me up with a mixer type piece of equipment for Christmas. So I finally got around to getting it hooked up and trying to troubleshoot it. So,
Mhm.
Son of Crown Slayer and Aaron says, sounds good. Thank you. So, because my knowledge only goes so far when it comes to this stuff.
So
So,
I was talking to Gaslands Mechanics before this. He sent me an email. We were talking just casual. And you brought up Top Gun. Now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. I have to bring up something that now that I've seen, I cannot unsee. And it has to do with the 60th anniversary female sniper.
okay.
Um, if anybody is subscribed to Paramount Plus right now, you're probably already seen this at some point. But the show Lioness, which is an incredible special ops, although very female driven uh, show, like kind of like Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy kind of stuff. There's a character in there named Cruz, and she looks exactly like the goddamn 60th anniversary female sniper. And I wonder at that points, I'm like, which came first? Because there is a scene where she's using the ghillie suit. When she takes that off, she's got the whole green thermal fit attire on there, and it looks again damn like the exact same thing. So I was just wondering if you had a chance to see it, or if anybody in the chat saw it yet. But I
I
can't unsee it.
She does. I know she does. She looks just like her. I have
Hmm.
had trouble getting into that show. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. Started watching it. I'm like 3 episodes in, and I just like my attention was wandering off. Like it's not that it's a good show. I mean, it's a Taylor Sheridan show.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Maybe Son of a Crayon Slayer. Too much girl power. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. It is, but I don't
It
feel like they made it the entire focus of the show, but it is in the forefront.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, if you're going to complain about girl power in movies and you're going to complain about it in this, you're going to see it here, but it's done in a very palatable way. Like
Yeah.
they don't go about it in an agenda based approach more than a these chicks kick ass. Like just they kick ass, right?
Yeah.
But the rest of the
It's
team is cool.
yeah, I mean all the other the people that she works with,
Yeah.
it's like a more violent, more grounded version of SEAL Team is
Yeah,
kind of what it seems like.
yeah, I liken it to, quite a few things we've seen them all before. It's very popular, like the Jack Ryan series. If you were
Yeah.
to take that, like even John Kelly, who's from that, is in this. But I mean, like the cast too, you got Morgan Freeman, for God's
Yeah.
sakes, is in this thing, right? Like
Yep.
it had clout, so I checked it out. And at first I was like, oh, it's this. And I was like, no, wait, this is damn cool. And it's got goddamn G.I. Joe in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to give it a rewatch. I need to try
Yeah.
it again. I don't know. I was watching it and then I found myself like on the phone or, you know how we do these days. And I
Hmm.
just like, and I hadn't gone back to it, but I need to go back to it and give it
I
a
still like
fair
Yellow.
shake.
I still like Yellowstone better. Yellowstone in 1883. I still think those are better Sheridan pieces, but this was pretty cool for stepping away from a ranch for him.
Did you watch the one that I recommended?
Tulsa King?
No, Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor Kingstown. No, not yet. I'm trying to
That's
chip away through a few things that were on there because I got the 1 week trial to decide, right? For Paramount.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
it's there's some really good shows on Paramount, plus a lot of good older movies. So, like I've got Paramount for free. My phone plan somehow includes a Paramount Plus
Okay.
subscription. Almost said prescription subscription. Uh, so I don't know if I'd pay for it if not for that, but I mean I think it's like the basic ones like with commercials is like $7 or something.
It's $10 out here, so that's probably $7 over there. So that would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Um, yeah,
I'm thinking about dropping Netflix for it. Drop Netflix or Disney. I can't decide, but I don't need to pay for three streaming services here.
that's kind of how I feel. I went with the bundle with Disney, Hulu, and what a show is it? Showtime, I think that's with it. But
Yeah,
like it was a limited
stars,
thing. Yeah, stars, and it was a
stars.
limited thing. It was like $18 for all three of them. So I
Mm.
did that over Netflix. But I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to at least binge Netflix for a month because there's some stuff I got to catch up on, and they're also getting ready to do the next season for Black Mirror. So
Oh yeah. So Black Mirror, I loved it. I love anthologies. I love sci-fi. Black Mirror got good. Then they did that one which was like a choose your own adventure kind of movie.
yeah, yeah.
And it seemed like the series just kind of dropped after that. Like, didn't even know they were gonna carry it on.
I really hope that I think they just maybe paused it and was trying to come up with some more some new tech based ideas. Like I think they kind
Hmm.
of gone in all the directions and then they stopped and they're like, all right, let's wait and see what else develops that we can spiral into craziness. So,
So I'll tell
um,
you a win for all the dads out there. all the dads who's ever wanted to just bring a tablet and watch a movie over dinner, we've done that in our house now. Now, for the last week, every dinner has been an episode of South Park, and it's been goddamn wonderful.
That's great.
Oh, my kid is discovering South Park. My ex is remembering South Park, and everybody is in hysterics. It's great. We did the we did season 22 one about school shootings and how people are normalizing them, and everybody was in stitches all night tonight.
I have not watched that one yet. I watched the one, whatever the one about the Ozempic, the the most recent special one,
Oh,
where
the obesity
Cartman.
one?
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, I'm about to watch that one. Yeah, they switched
That
to
one's
doing
pretty good.
specials for a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. So let's go back to the chat.
Yeah.
Mr. Madgus says starting on that now. I guess that was Mayor Kingstown. Tulsa King is a must watch. Crow, he says Tulsa King season 1 was very good. Tulsa King season 2 was lukewarm for me. I thought some of the writing in season 2 was terrible, and some of the dialogue was terrible.
Is that with
The
Stallone?
Yes,
Yeah,
uh,
that's already a challenge with dialogue, isn't it?
he actually does really well with it in the first
Yeah.
season. In the second season, I think he just whatever the writers handed him, he was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things about it, but it's on my list. But yeah, I just
It,
I'm not
it's
one for
good.
big dramas
Yeah,
often.
it's Tulsa King is good. It's a good show. I make it sound like it fell off a cliff with season 2. It didn't. It just was not as good as season 1 for me. I know my cousin really likes it, and Matthew Matson really liked it. Season 2, I just didn't think the writing was as strong on it, but
Mm.
it's still worth watching. It just if you've got limited amount of time to watch Paramount, you're trying to binge all you can, maybe save that one for after you make your decision.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Oh, so let's see what all else. I didn't make a show plan, so we talked about it. So
Mm.
gotta pull up my little device over here and see what all we've got going on. So while we were, I'll talk about this first. So while we were talking about girl power, I saw this just today. This is on Bleeding Cool, and Loyal Subjects is getting ready to bring back Jim and the Holograms.
Oh dear.
So while we were talking on, I'll go ahead and full screen that. So it's Loyal Subjects that does the Turtles line that a lot of people really dig.
Okay.
And so they're going to bring back Jim, and they're going to start out for her 40th anniversary with an incredible 12 ounce, I'm thinking of beer,
12
12,
ounces.
12-inch fashion figure featuring 29 points of articulation, swappable outfits to take on the role of Jerica, along with 15 other accessories, brush, microphone. So look, Jim is one of them shows that I watched. I liked Jim, and if this was a 6-inch figure, I ain't gonna lie, I'd buy it.
Oh, there's so many reasons to buy it for your collection and nostalgia. I understand. The 12-inch, I'm picturing. So 12 inches is 1/6 scale, right? Is it not?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah. So you've seen some of the more recent, like Chun-Li has a really good 1/6 scale where they've got the polymer skin and you have to get the little tool into the skull to move the eyes around and things like
yeah.
that. I can see where they're going with is that what they're saying they're going to be doing, or are they doing a Barbie?
To me, it sounds like a very articulated Barbie.
Mm.
As what it sounds like. So, son of a crayon slayer. So, that's so a Barbie doll. And to me, it just sounds like it is a super articulated, super accessorized Barbie. But I think
Yeah.
I like the idea. What does all of this stuff go away? I don't even know. I can't even get this off the screen now.
Again, it comes into the relevance
All
of
right.
what some of the modern talk on around toys has been, but where's the market for the 12-inch right now? And is Gem relevant to that anymore? I feel like this is going to be a low print run collector nostalgia piece only, not another attempt at anything, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a stab at bringing the line back. It sounds like it's just a
Yeah, it
one off
should be.
for the 40th anniversary. But I think it would be cool if it caught on, and they did, since 12-inch is, that's the rage right now. That's what's most popular. If they did come back and they did do a 6-inch line, do like all of her band, do the Misfits. Um, I watched that show. I like Jim, and Samantha Newark, who voiced her, lives here. She lives
Oh,
in.
okay.
I actually met her last year, I think, at the Nashville Comic Con. She's always, at all the local ones.
So, I mean, it raises a good point. I would totally get behind a toy company that would attach or attack these kind of things in a 6-inch form where it's like compatible with my Marvel Legends or Fresh Monkey Fiction or classified, but not just like Gem and the Holograms. Let's go after all the nostalgic 70s and 80s animated bands. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Josie and the Pussycats, the Archies, like hit them all. Just do
yeah,
a whole band series of fictitious bands.
that
Alvin
would
and the
be.
Chipmunks, for God's sakes.
They all have microphones, and let Simon. Which one played sax? One of them played sax.
I don't,
I don't remember
yeah, I
what they
don't
played.
remember. I just want a Dave figure with him clutching his head. Just,
With
ah!
Dave. They put poor Dave through the ringer. Maybe we could get a Dave and John 2-pack with John from
Yeah.
Garfield.
It's your own problem, Dave. You raised pests as children.
That's right. Wraith Mace wants to know if you saw the Asartes 2 teaser trailer, Crow.
Not
I
yet,
don't
no,
even
man.
know what that is.
It's Space Marines, Astartes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it falls into the Warhammer 40K stuff.
Okay.
No, not yet. I will. I'm gonna be talking to Rape Mace and Shane soon about some 40K stuff in some form or another. And I'm gonna have to get really caught up on 40K again. And yeah, that's a gratuitous plug, guys. Wraith Mace has led the charge. Get into 40K because there's going to be a lot to talk about.
He said his one of his goals this year is to get me to get a Joy Toy figure. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
man. Like, I think that's a good goal. I think you would like them, but you just need a special little case for it.
I can't afford to go down any more rabbit holes right now. So
I hear you.
let's see. So Bobby and Menjoza say that their wives are going to love that gym. And Bobby says she likes what Loyal Subjects did with Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake. The I almost bought the Strawberry Shortcake one. I like that one. They did do a good job with those. I don't have any of those best action figures, but they seem to be really well done. I see them all the time. Ross always has them. I don't know how they always wind up at Ross.
So, yeah, I wish I had a Ross because it seems like you guys luck into everything that we can't even get out here, and it shows up in a Ross, and then I don't know what you do after that. If you burn the stuff, but it still doesn't end up out here.
Well, I want to know, at what point does somebody come into Ollie's and just buy all that shit to turn it back into raw materials? I think
All right.
actually I heard Wraith, I think, was talking about that one time as well. Was all of these Eternals figures and these Wakanda
Oh
Forever and
yeah.
all that stuff, they are still everywhere at Ollie's. And eventually, when they finally decide to move that stuff, they sell it like by the pound whenever
Yeah.
it finally goes out the door.
Yeah, if you ever wanted some social commentary that would Disney think would not like, and it's how many Eternals and Black Panther movie figures are they still sitting on?
Yeah,
Like,
world
yeah, I could
world
see it.
class bullshitters.
Hey, you
Watch
want to
world
know
class
something?
bullshitters.
Yeah. We were talking about, you know what I would want more than that band line? And I challenge somebody, Fresh Monkey Fiction or anybody starting a toy line, turn all those little properties into like grim twists for the future. Like Strawberry Shortcake is part of a human trafficking ring. Like there's a market for some sick ass figures if you darken up some of those. Rainbow Bright with like a dark twist. I'd buy it. Somebody needs to twist these properties up.
I would dig that, man. Kind of like what McFarlane did with some of the fairy tales
That's
figures and
something we should do one of our little videos on
oh
one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of fairy tales kind of characters? I could get into that, but I mean there's some they've been done a bunch of times, but not by us.
No, that's true.
So I got something else I'm going to see if you guys have seen or heard about, and I am going to share this window right here.
Cool. I'm gonna turn
And
my
this
camera off
was
while I get a coffee.
okay. Well, I'll wait on you.
Yeah. Well, I'm still watching.
You
It's just camera's off.
oh, okay. Well, I need my coffee pot in the same room. Pop blender does that too.
Yeah.
So this made the rounds here a couple of days ago. Say what's up to Machine Man. What's going on, man? I think they did. I think they approved it. Um,
So,
and hang on, Bobby. I'll get to that. I see that comment, Bobby. We'll talk about that in a minute. Um, so this right here, I'm gonna pull up another YouTube page.
okay.
Not my content. This is making the rounds. This is
Okay.
we're looking at Tim K's Nerd Crate on YouTube. So has anybody checked this out yet? So this is the pitch for Ramen
Oh,
to make kit in
okay.
1/12 scale.
Right.
So
And
I
you
got
and I had talked. Okay, you warned me you were going to show this. I hadn't seen this. I had just seen a single still image of it.
so this is the trailer, the promo video.
Mm.
I don't know if this is a complete done deal or if this is just the complete prototype, but this is the video and the images that have been making the rounds. So this is best I know. Ace is trying to get the license to do
Hmm.
this, and this is what the initial modeling looks like. This thing is badass.
Yeah. I love that they thought to do the extended front end features. Like not
Yeah.
just leave it at the lighting, but actually do that front end feature. Sorry, I just lost my camera. There we go.
So
Because if you were around for that show as a kid, that's an easy thing to forget that Kit brought to the table at one point.
yeah,
Sort of a
had
handheld version.
all kind of extra stuff built in to him. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that's been making the rounds. I figured most everybody probably had seen it, but figured I would show that YouTube channel and maybe send some traffic that way if you guys want to pour over every detail. But I think Ramen would actually do a great job doing kit. I mean, we've seen the racer. We've got all of the other stuff that's coming, the mask stuff, or the not mask stuff. We've got the rev vans, which have slowly, very slowly started to ship the first batch out of the rev vans.
Still waiting to order one.
Um, I don't I don't think many are going out yet. The post that I saw was somebody that owns an independent toy store that had posted they got a notice that theirs were shipped, but most
Okay.
people from what I've seen have not gotten that notice. I have not gotten one on mine, and Ramen is on break until after Chinese New Year, which I think ends February 13th. Now, he did do a live stream last weekend where he was talking about some of the new things that he's got coming out, the Gotcha Man. And I didn't go back and watch through that live stream, so he probably gave an update on the shipping of the vans in there.
Hmm.
But what he initially said was they were going to ship after Chinese New Year. So they seem to be falling in line with what he had initially said. So we should start seeing at least a few people getting those soon.
Yeah, and I commend Ace on being, you know, the guy of his word. He said at the beginning of this, we're looking first quarter 2025, January, getting these vans out. He made good. I mean, he's making good, right? And
Yeah.
that I know it means a lot to a company to project when something comes out and to hit that mark early. That's great.
Yeah. So I am excited, of course, for the vans, but I'll be really excited if he's able to get this license for Knight Rider and actually produce that car, because that is one thing I definitely could see myself buying. It ain't gonna be, it's probably gonna be in line with the pricing of the racer and the razor. So it's gonna be definitely one of those luxury wants that you need to save up for.
Well, and it'll resurrect a few old discussions about a certain helicopter that people were hoping was going to get
Yeah.
funded, and yeah, I hear you, buddy.
So,
I'd love to see more on this one.
yeah, I would too. So I saved the link for that video. I wanted to show it in case anybody maybe missed it. I'm gonna come back to Bobby's comment. So, um, talking about some of the fantasy stuff, the Winnie the Pooh, the Popeye. There is a what's the other one? There's actually a sequel to the Winnie the Pooh one, the Blood and Honey. There is
Mhm.
a Mickey Mouse one that is based on Steamboat Willie. And then stick figures, guys, here, what's going on, man? Those properties aren't in public domain yet, so you can't change them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we were talking about just doing our take on them, guy, just like our write ups, and how we
Hmm.
do around here, giving everything a bio and a backstory.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Creating the
the
next buzz for toys. Yeah.
that's right. Maybe somebody will contact us to write file cards. Um, it won't be Hasbro.
Yeah. That is not
um,
part of their plan at all.
no,
No.
but yeah. So the Winnie the Pooh and all of those characters and Steamboat Willie, the original design for Mickey Mouse, all that went into public domain, so it's all fair use stuff. So, I mean, I could show some Steamboat Willie stuff, and Disney wouldn't try to come crucify me. But that's how those movies came about, and they're
I was
fucking
wondering.
terrible. They're
Yeah.
so bad, but they're so bad. It's you just hold your head and you're like, I gotta finish
I
watching it.
I actually saw the movie poster for Pooh, and I was like, "Am I reading this right?" Like, no, no. It doesn't surprise me you say they're terrible.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched. I haven't watched the second Pooh one because I think it is out now. I've
The
watched the
fact that it
first one.
warranted it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I started watching I can't remember what the name of the Mickey Mouse one is, but I started watching it and I was like, nope, I need to have a drink or two before I can do this. I can't do it.
Just
Um,
like the director did, right?
yeah, right. Somebody slipping something into the water cooler at that
Yeah.
place. So, um, did he say anything about the razor? I don't think so. I haven't heard a date on the razor. It's still up for pre-order.
Mm.
And Wraith says, when is the Punisher van slated? That's one of the Rev vans that's after Chinese New Year and may or may not be shipped to some people now. So
Mhm.
I have that one coming. The whichever one the blacked out one is, I've got that one coming. So
The
um,
war van,
yeah, and I
the
got
war journal. Yeah.
you don't even need to do anything to it. Like, I mean, customize some stuff for the inside, but for a Punisher van, it's good to go. All you gotta do is put his ass in the seat.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's it.
that's really all you need for any of the vans because they all look like something that some thug could rent and just gun up a place, right? So,
Oh yeah,
mm.
I can't wait to see what some people do with the white one and the black one, just the plain ones.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got some ideas.
like I said, waiting to order one until some bills get paid, and then I'm going
Right?
to probably still go with the white one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy says Peter Pan is public domain now. Yeah, there is a Peter Pan one of those that's coming out. The It's not out yet, but you can find the trailer for it. I don't remember the name of it, but it looks like the other ones. So
I feel like if we want to know exactly what has just become public domain and is up for grabs right now, we just need to go onto Pornhub. Guarantee you, you will get the list. Everything will be good to go.
it might have been on there before.
Yeah.
Like they
who
don't care.
who
They
has
don't
12
care.
sequels? All of them are gross.
And all of them are titled bigger, biggest, something. So
German
Machine Man
subtitles. Yeah.
Machine Man says just because you can doesn't mean you should. Talking about our bios.
Well, man, that's what
Frank Doom on you. What's up,
I've been
Frank?
saying that about AI the whole time, and no one's listening except AI.
Yeah, yeah. Siri's got you on a list. Siri and Alexa. So
Yeah.
let's see. You got one other one we'll pull up, and this one somebody in chat may or may not have ordered this thing right here. So people are starting to get this. It's the Fans Hobby Air Eagle.
Yeah,
It's
starting to see a
the
few.
Skyhawk.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Finished products. Of course, this is just their website here. We've seen all of these images before, so I don't have any images pulled up from anybody that's gotten it, but they're out there. They're easy to find. A lot of people are getting this thing in hand now, and I gotta
Mm.
say, 86 bucks, like $87. This thing is cool as hell.
It does look like it's worth the punch, eh? Do
Yeah,
you
I
have to
think
paint it
so.
yourself though? Does it come unpainted?
No, I think it's painted. Matthew
Is it?
just showed up. What's up, Matthew? Matthew can probably shed some light on that. I think these were
Hmm.
just the initial prototype pictures for it. No, I think it's because it's printed, so I think it is all painted up. I know
Hmm.
Matthew got to see one this weekend. $50 to ship it. Mm, I don't know, man. So that's gonna make it 140 ish, 150 tax. I don't know. You've seen it, Matthew, like in person, right? So I think it looks like it's probably worth it. It looks great.
Yeah, it's probably in a very protected box too, and that might be jacking that shipping up. Because if it's
Yeah.
assembled, like look at those fins, man. I'd want those packed in hard foam or something like shaped
Oh
foam or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. So it is injection molded. So and it is
Oh,
painted. So yeah, he said it's good quality. I think it looks awesome. I might eventually try to acquire one, but I mean, you can order them now.
I'm I'm
They're
looking at
there.
the I'm looking at the price for Canadian, and that's all. So if it's 86 dollars US, yeah, that's I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. See if anybody out here in the north can get us some deals. Because that's a lot for
Yeah.
shipping with the new tariffs that are going to be coming. I have no idea what that looks like.
Right.
Things have
Yeah.
already
That
changed.
I'm not real thrilled about what may or may not happen with that either. So
Well, and I
some,
meant to tell you, you sent me a package the other day, and that no problems. But I noticed I got some new bills from Big Bad Toy Store just from through what's it called? Not UPS, the other bigger FedEx.
FedEx.
And I mean, it seems to be things that are coming in and out of Canada are starting to have a new calculation applied to them. So I have no idea what it means when we order some of that stuff in the days to come right now.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm not real thrilled about the prospects for that. And I know the package I sent you when we talked about it, either those have already been altered or the information that I found was really wrong. So
No, and
one of the two.
that was another thing. Like the UPS guy just dropped that one off, and I've told you usually UPS is the one that's like, yeah, okay, now we do the border balance fee or whatever. There's none of it, so I'm like, this whole thing's up in schwack right now. I have no idea
Oh
what's
no,
going
that
on.
was. Oh no, I paid it.
Oh, you sweet prince. All right.
I went ahead because I'm like, this thing should be showing up any day now, and I looked
Oh
and I'm
my god.
like, oh well, all right, I just pay that. So no,
No, son of a
that's
bitch.
why I just left it.
My brain has been broken by shipping and handling.
Oh, dude, it's rough right now.
It
So,
is. It's nonsense.
son of a crayon slayer said he saw the Air Eagle for 127 on eBay, free shipping. Tart 124 on Ollie, and that's probably free shipping too. Um, so yeah, I mean, I might try and pick one of those up at some point down the road. I think it looks pretty badass.
Mhm.
See what else might I have over here to pull up. Got to look over at this. The other thing I added was a stream deck, and I'm trying to get used to using that too. So,
Nice.
let's see. Hey, there's Speak of the Devil. There he is, right
And
there.
he
Pop
shut up
one.
here. There
Yeah,
he
what's
is.
going
Yeah.
on, cuz? Says he is lurking till he can get the bar clean. So,
Ah.
good luck. I shouldn't. It's a Wednesday night. There ain't nothing going on down there. It shouldn't take you too long.
Mhm.
Oh, let me see what all else the other thing because I got something else that I was gonna show. Not that. Open the wrong thing. And I know enthralling, right? Having to move all this stuff from one spot to another.
I'll
And
try to go back through what we said we were going to talk about tonight because we do talk about that. But I know what we have slides for. Some of it.
absolutely.
While you're
No,
doing
we
that,
did not.
I'll
We didn't
show the
talk about
guys.
this.
Did mention that that down south sent me something. If you guys were wondering, this is one of the things that he said. So I'll be doing a shadow tracker review on my channel soon because down south tracked down a shadow tracker for me because I couldn't. Walmart. It's awesome. But I
That guy
don't
was
understand,
such a good figure.
and I don't understand how he's lived with a face like that. How is he not like zombie? I thought he was a zombie. We've had a
I just,
debate as to what the nature of shadow tracker should be versus what it is.
I just wonder if wonder how he eats with that thing on.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, a face like that, there is no son of shadow tracker, right?
Probably
You
not,
no, you gonna
unless
take me
it's
off
some
that
kind
full
of
screen?
bone tomahawk situation.
Oh, oh, there's some yes, and
And
strawberry shortcake was there.
that's all we can say about that. So,
Yes, you
um,
see the dark. Good.
the Monster Force Joe Fest exclusive, I did. It's all right. I mean, I'm not. I like the extra head that comes with it. It looks like Solid Snake from Metal Gear, but I'm not as impressed with it as I think some people are. So, the other thing I wanted to show and speak of the devil, as we were just talking about it, was this is
Oh,
the Musk set from Ramen, and there is the
right.
prototype for Kit. These pictures are from Ramen. These are off of Ramen's Facebook.
Okay.
This this thing looks so damn cool. I'm gonna put it on full screen, and it seems to me like it is fairly reasonable. So we got that picture. That is both of the underneath layers and then the street layer on the top.
Hmm.
So then we get phone booth and the post office box, and these are stretch goals for it.
I was gonna say, is the phone booth is such a niche thing now, eh? Like
I
it's
think it's
really
awesome.
yeah, it's specifically for your superhero.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm.
But I love that phone booth. I don't know, maybe they still have phone booths in in Singapore. I don't know. Never been there.
Injection sites, I think they're called.
Yeah, that's right. um, so here's underneath from one of the sewer layers going
That's
into the
freaking
next.
cool. Yeah.
This thing looks really, really good. So
Mhm.
here's the
Oh, there you
stretch
go.
goals for it. Fire hydrant, the mailbox with a
Okay.
opening lever, street lamp, and the phone booth with a LED. Street lamp has a LED, and it's even got signs on the street light. It's even, if you wanted to stencil on some street names or something.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, I love I, I love everything that I've seen in a ramen for the most part, but I'm gonna be the guy that says it. I just can't get behind a fire hydrant and a mailbox as a stretch goal. They
they
just they're
seem, yeah, they seem like they should be added on.
Yeah, they really seem like they should just kind of be buck she-bits for this bit. I understand absolutely phone booth and light pole. Those are pretty intricate, but these are the kind of novelties that every dollhouse and every Fisher Price set and everybody throws in, and they're nothing to. But maybe I'm missing something. I always leave room for doubt, but I
Yeah,
don't know. Am I wrong?
I feel like there are things that should be probably included with it, and they probably could have come up with some more interesting stretch goals. But
Yeah.
it is ramen, and he changes things on the fly. So if it takes off, there's no telling what he's liable to throw in because he will take feedback and
Hmm.
change things or add things.
Yeah.
People,
I
say,
mean,
hey, what about adding this in? And he'll do it.
I do see and I acknowledge the mailbox has an opening lever. I'm just again, is that enough for me to go? Well, that makes it desirable, you know. But yeah,
Uh,
no, I hear you. Yeah,
what makes it desirable is it is 48 inches wide, 16 inches deep, and 24 inches tall. It is
that
huge.
and that man, that works with so many different lines, right? Like,
Uh, you can use it
yeah,
with anything.
I mean,
Um,
you Ninja Turtles is like the low hanging fruit here, right? Like, there's a
right.
lot. Yeah.
But you could, I mean, this could be an underground dreadnoks hideout or
Hmm.
weapons cache or anything, and Aaron agrees with you. He says these are some things we see with Sesame Street play sets back in the day.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
right.
you. Yeah. Thank you for
It's a
agreeing with
good
that.
point. But it comes with, I mean, it's huge that the size of it would take up my table right here. 8 asphalt road sections, optional cover, manhole cover, um, pipe, ventilation pieces, opening door with light, opening shutter door, fire escape with drop down step ladder,
Yeah.
4 brick wall sections, 8 sewer floor sections. I just so much with it, man. It's $2.99 for the whole thing, but you can also order it in just sections. If you don't want the whole thing, you don't have that much room. You can
Love it.
order one street section and one sewer underneath it. You can order just the sewer, one side of the sewer. You can
Mhm.
order one side of the street.
I
So there's a
love
lot
this
of different
because
ways.
this just speaks to the beautiful position that Ramen Toys is in right now, having guys like Valivers and Hasbro pumping out and grinding out figures to stay competitive on the market. And here's all our 6-inch figures, buy them all, choke, 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 choke. And then you as the collector got to figure out how to display them.
Hmm.
Right. And then Hasbro goes, well, we've got a Porta John, and within the next 4 years, maybe you'll be able to build this into something that isn't a Porta John. Right. And nobody else is
Yeah.
really focusing on where that terrain should be. And in comes Ace with something like this and says, all right, I'll even give you options on how to afford it. This is, to me, this is Ace's market now. He's taken ownership of it.
Yeah, this stuff looks, and things like this, things like like the racer, the rev van, stuff you can use with anything. I could put Superman in the ramen racer,
Yeah.
I can, I usually have Punisher driving it. I could put Snake Eyes in there. Same thing here. I can take this bottom section with this ladder and I can put, a bat assembly section, building bats. I can put scrap iron down there. I can put
Well,
the Joes down there about to go up that ladder and raid Cobra on the street or vice versa.
you could have Wolverine hunting the Hellfire Club down there
Yes.
and pull that right out of a Chris Claremont issue. Like it's just untapped potential. What I love,
Yeah.
like, because it puts collectors into this pickle now, as we are all complaining about, shelf space. Oh, my Rattler is going to be so big. My HasLabs are so big, and I have so many figures, and Hasbro keeps pumping them all out. And then you start looking, okay, well, what do you like on your shelf? Do you like the clutter, or would you rather have something like this just displaying 4 or 5 good figs? Right? Like, how long do you want to look at your collection in a certain way? This is the kind of stuff that I think the new market needs to be about, because we've got lots of figures and Hasbro's going to have some problems, I guess,
I
if they don't
I
address it.
I definitely agree with you, and I'm gonna throw me on solo because depending
Hmm.
on what kind of shelves that you have, how your setup is. So these shelves that I've got right here, these are plastic utility shelves that I've painted and I put covers over the bottoms to make them look fancy. But you can get a set like this and you can build this set and it's a 5 shelf system, so you can go as high as you want. You can make 2 shelves out of one of these sets, and you could do a 2 or 3 shelf setup, and you could take that muscle and set it on top. It's going to be sturdy enough, even if it hangs off a little bit. I mean, it's going to be fine. It's not going anywhere. And use something like this for a base for it, and you have your own standalone display that you
Yep.
can make into a piece just for what you're talking about. If you've got, 5 or 6, whatever, 10 figures that you want to display in a scene, get something like this, hell, an old bookcase, and throw a sheet over it. And you've got your own ready made, awesome display that
Mhm.
can set to the side of your main display, and change those figures out whatever you want to do with it. It's freaking brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you get things wired for electronics, again, there's your force multiplier for potential, right?
Yeah. I don't know, he may have said it in that live stream I was talking about, so I don't know when it goes up for pre-order. I would imagine, I mean, obviously after the Chinese New Year, but so I just, this is coming, so save up.
So no, we gotta request Ace make a Kool-Aid Man whole wall too. I've seen the hole he's got where 5 bricks missing. I'm like, where's Kool-Aid Man, man? We need that
Yeah,
one.
that'd be
Mm.
perfect. You could take and trying to figure out a way you could do it temporarily. Maybe if you could use dry erase or washable markers and like, black it out like he's busted through it already, like it's a
Yeah.
shadow into the side or something. So I think that'd be great. You can do
Hmm. Do you see
so.
do you see Roman's comment there? It's relevant.
Uh, Um, I don't know. We may or may not be discussing that here in just a little bit.
But
I
I
don't
do
think it'll
feel
be
like,
long.
yeah, I feel like we saw some mold stuff a while ago that was possibly linked to Muskrat. Nobody talked about it for a while, right? But there was some drops a lot, like a year or two ago, that kind of alluded Muskrat was coming.
Yeah, I think he's already probably. I think he's one of the ones that's already probably in prototype stage or something.
Yeah.
I, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of love for Muskrat, and strangely enough, I never really dug that character very much. And people are like, "Why? He lives in the swamp and he has a machete and a surfboard."
Mm.
Yeah.
A boogie board, tactical boogie board.
Yeah, boogie board, not surfboard. I got one other thing we need to talk about real quick, and we've already kind of touched on it a little bit. And voila. So this is from Cybertron, article on Cybertron, and this is the article discussing Hasbro being a transformative year because they're going to focus more on games than they are on toys. And they're also going to try to push focus into digital games. More, not more, but at least as much as like their board games we all know them for. Um, I've read through. I haven't actually read this thing top to bottom. I've skimmed through it, but that is the gist of it. Is they are trying to maximize profits by keeping with things they can develop and not have to put out an actual physical product. But even so much as things like the card games that they just showed off that me and Pop Blender talk about last week, the adult focus card games. They've got drinking games on their
Mhm,
website. So
mhm.
what are your thoughts on this, Crow? We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Inevitable. It's
Yeah.
absolutely inevitable. Um, the biggest point being is that we are the generation that played with toys, and the generation after us played with control boxes,
Hmm.
right? And everything is virtual. So as much as I think it sucks to watch something like a good 6-inch figure become less focused and less focused and less focused, I understand it because it's toy collecting is an adult thing. We're only going to bring so much revenue in. Kids are
Yeah.
all over the planet and you want to entertain them 24/7. This is a money market right here to switch to digital. So I just think it's sad more than anything.
So Chris Cox, CEO, who comes from Microsoft, where he did a stellar job over there.
Mhm.
Um, the place, he sees gaming as the largest source of potential for growth for the company. Toys are simply not selling as well as before in general, and the future is in digital play. Exactly
Well,
what you just said.
yeah, but I would argue with Chris Cox that they need to stop sabotaging themselves because they're giving them a false impression of what the toy market could look like by ponying up these fucking bullshit contracts to Disney for Marvel movies that go nowhere, for Indiana Jones that does nothing, right? Like that clouds what the market could look like as well. And then Hasbro goes, well, it's not cost effective. Okay, well, that's not because of the market. That's because of the contracts you're fulfilling.
Yes, and they have to lean, they have to, these big contracts they have to put their focus and their attention and their resources on these contracts, like what you were just saying. Let's just go ahead and say it Disney, the stuff that Disney is putting out that nobody wants, and they
Yeah.
have to make toys for it. It's eating up resources for
Oh,
other things that actually are selling,
and you
but
can't do
they're
it without
stuck.
Disney. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, you're stuck with these contracts because these are how you keep your company alive,
Yeah.
right?
And it just, they're just getting they're being asked to build a marble statue out of a wheelbarrow full of manure. Is, you know, that's where they're at.
Well, and I
Um,
mean, they are just saying they're shifting focus, right? It's not like they're stop building toys. It's not going to be the priority at all.
yeah, and I also, to add to that, what you were saying, what I just highlighted, everything has gone more digital. What, you know, whatever. But you just said it. Like, we're buying GI Joe, market them and create them and give the fan service for the collectors that are buying these, raise that 4 and up limit to at least 12. I say 12, 10 or 12. I mean, you may probably get away with 10, but
Yeah.
raise that limit up, make these figures uh, to the level that collectors want, because they need to acknowledge that that's who's buying at least the GI Joe figures. I'm sure there's some kids that are into it, maybe some parents our age or slightly younger have been successful getting their kids into GI Joe and action figures. But for the most part, they know what they're making this for. We can see it with Road Pig, Raptor, some of these the figures that they've knocked out of the park that are aimed at us, and they tweak them and they make them so much better. They know we're the ones that are buying them because they're selling us nostalgia.
Yeah.
So aim that actually at who's buying the shit rather than, oh, these are for kids and kids aren't buying them. Like,
Well,
acknowledge that they're not.
yeah, and also acknowledge that. I mean, I've got ADHD. I'll tell you right now, Hasbro's got friggin' power ADHD, man, because they've had the
Yeah.
window into that market forever. Let's just randomly pick something that nobody ever talks about in GI Joe Classified. I know the QR code. This thing has been sitting on the side of the box for years. It has been your window into a virtual connection. It even says, you know, shop or play games. What does it link you to that is actually appealing to anybody? Yet I'm supposed to believe you're diving into this new thing and you're going to pull us along with us. I've not seen it taken seriously yet as far as linking the two. It's almost like they believe you couldn't have cross promotion between toys and video games. What's wrong with selling a game with the toy? Disney did that on their platform. It fell short where you'd have a little collectible sitting there, but there was a microchip that allowed it to communicate to the video game and gave you everything about that character. Are you tracking?
Yep,
I
that
can't
was
remember what it was called.
yeah, somebody will probably know that thing was infinitely cool. So my ex and her boys had some of those, and those things were awesome.
Right.
Uh,
So
God, what was the name of them? You set it up on the little
Disney
pad.
Mirrorverse, or yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it was Mirrorverse.
Right. My point being is like there's no reason why it has to be one or the other. Like with Hasbro, you have the two departments. You could make this work out better, but I think it's going to be fine for a lot of major lines like Marvel Legends and probably GI Joe Classified for a little while. I don't know what it's going to look like for Star Wars much longer.
Well, I mean, they're talking about um, all the rumors about them possibly losing the Marvel license, and if they are the Disney. So if they do, there's Marvel, there's Star Wars, because that's going to probably be a package deal, right? I can't see them just losing Star Wars without losing both of them.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair point.
So I do want to say what's up to War Chest Full of Toys. Just snuck in here and said Muskrat's working for the border war right now. He doesn't have time to be an action figure. He is keeping us safe on the shores of
Panama
Louisiana.
Canal. Oh, okay.
Louisiana on the Gulf of America.
America.
I saw America. I saw something that I don't know if it's true or not, so don't take it with a grain of salt. But I saw something today that said Google is getting ready to change it to Gulf of America, but only for U.S. users for Google Maps. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Alternate history, man.
Yeah,
This is where it's all come to. I don't like it called that no more.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore. I want to go back.
I can't pronounce Mexico.
Entertainment is not the same way it used to be, and you're right. I mean, it's Crow just said it's changed. It's all digital now. So yes, you can't link it to the file cards. It just goes to a really crappy splash page for Hasbro. It's not even the Pulse page.
No, there was a time. There was a time it would pull you up and you'd see a picture of G.I. Joe Classified rock and roll action figure. It'd be like, do you want to learn something about Classified? It was like going to the Hasbro Pulse page, and now it's not even that.
No, and it looks like it looks really cheap. The if you scan the QR code, it looks really cheap where it sends you. It looks like something I would do trying to make a thumbnail after half a bottle of Jim Beam.
That to me looks like a Chuck E. Cheese order menu. Like I'm sitting at Chuck E. Cheese trying to figure out how to work their menu to order something while kids are screaming at me. That's the kind of thing I picture.
Yeah,
Just this
it's
drop down
really
menu bullshit.
it's really bad. So Mr. Madgus says the prices they charge tells you they know who's buying them. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they're not making $300 HasLabs for some 7-year-old and telling him to wait a year.
Yeah.
100%. They've got
Yep.
part of it figured out. Just acknowledge it with the rest. Speaking of prices, what is going on with these classified prices? Because the only place that they are regular price is Hasbro and GameStop. Everywhere else, this new wave, they've gone up at least $1, and it's not MSRP because Hasbro's not selling them for that. I want to know how all these other sites and these other retailers, I want to know how they're getting away with it and why we're letting them.
So
I
I
see.
wonder if this has to do with taxation on shipping goods, like an economic tax or for an enviro. I can see that
I,
going up every year.
well, I'll let me see if I can pull something up here and I'll show you for example. So let's see. I don't think I'm going to dox anything by sharing this. So I'm going to share this tab right here. So I can get dial tone from Amazon if I want to pay $34.99 for him. Ships from Amazon, sold by Amazon. What the fuck are you thinking,
That's
Amazon?
what I paid for them in Canadian.
This is
Like,
unacceptable.
yeah, because that like 34.99 Canadian is exactly what I pay for my guys. No, sorry, it's $1 more than what I pay for my guys on average. But that's only about 27 dollars US.
Yeah. Yep. Matthew, yeah. I didn't even see that part. Good eye, Matthew. Delivery February 11th through 24th. So,
Eh,
so
that's for free
they
delivery. Yeah.
yeah, this is with Prime. This is my account here. So,
What the
um, yeah, man. So it's absolutely bonkers. And Walmart, I think he's like, I know Saul Viper's 30 at Walmart. Dalton I think he was 30. Because I had him ordered, I had Dalton ordered through Walmart, and I got a shipping notice from Walmart that he's going to ship soon. Right when I got the one from Pulse, my Walmart order of dial tone was $24.99. I ordered him there back when he went up for pre-order.
Mhm.
Now, if you find him now, he's like $32 or $33, and that is sold by Walmart from Walmart.
Well, I'm kind of looking at the amount of plastics they've used for this guy and how functional. Like he's got quite a bit. And it's a little bit more than your average figure kit as far as what you're getting with them. So I wonder if they're just getting really exacting with like weight of plastic price because every standard Joe in that price, that normal price bracket, it's knife, pistol, rifle, backpack
Yeah.
character, right? And that's essentially what you're getting here, except they've traded the cell phone and this instead of a pistol. But that backpack has more deco, has more function. Like there's just a little bit more, and I'm wondering if they're charging for that now.
Well, possibly, but heavy duty still $34.99.
Heavy duty's a heavy duty's a big figure too, though, with his harness, right?
Yeah, he's a deluxe figure. That's
Yeah, I don't.
$35 is a deluxe figure price.
Yeah, and I definitely think you're getting more with heavy duty than you do with the Alton. It's weird. Hasbro, you're weird.
Yeah, man, I don't know. So here's heavy duty,
Yeah, it's basically Metalhead all over again.
$34.99. So why is heavy duty $35, but freaking dial tone is $35?
Yeah,
So
that don't
I
make
don't
much
get it.
sense.
So let's
Oh,
get back to the chat real quick. So Clint
yeah.
says Disney Infinity is what we were trying to think of. That was
Thank
it.
you. That
That
was
was
it.
it.
Yeah.
So, and then let's see, Son of Crayon Slayer, the game Skylanders. That was kind of what Disney Infinity was ripped off of. They
Yeah.
Infinity come out a little bit after Skylanders,
But the
and her kids
premise
had
was
that
there.
too.
So you had
Yeah,
that
same thing.
collectability, but digital interactive, right? So
Yeah. And then Bobby says, I want to see if McFarlane picks up Marvel, how well that line might do. Hollywood might be on the verge of not being DEI. Well, I don't think that has anything to do with who would pick up the license really, or McFarlane. Like, I don't want to see McFarlane with Marvel. I don't want McFarlane anywhere near Marvel personally.
no, that makes me believe there's Satan.
Like, I
It's
just
full circle for McFarlane. The way he left Marvel to come back, and nope,
yeah. Um,
nope.
No, Matthew, that dial tone was shipped and fulfilled by Amazon, or sold and fulfilled by Amazon. Their Saul Viper is the same way. He's 30.
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
all right. So see what all
So remember back,
y'all
and we're
fight
going to be
those out.
exploring this. I almost picked this as one of my picks there, but Dial Tone actually did have a figure later in the Joe line that was electronic and spoke, right?
Yeah.
And
The battle command, was it Battle Commanders?
yeah, I can't remember. Bob Sonic Attack, or what
Sonic
do you have out?
Fighters.
Sonic Fighters, right? And so Dial Tone was one of the ones that you press the button and you would say shit. And I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if the QR code would just bring us back to like being able to have some of your best Joe quotes with the original voice actor from the cartoon doing it or something like that? Like, just how do you get the Joes digital, right? Because they've
That
done it
would be
before.
that would be awesome. That
Hmm.
was some. I tell you what, though, some of those Pursuit of Cobra figures, the designs, because we're seeing a lot of those designs in classified
Yeah.
more than, or not more, but as much, I'd say almost, as what we're seeing with the Real American Hero designs.
Yeah.
Those I didn't collect any of those Pursuit of Cobra figures, but there were some really good figures throughout that line, and versions of the Real American Hero characters that were frankly way better looking than what we had with Real American Hero. And that was one of the reasons, like, when everybody Leatherneck talking about being so short, is because one of the anniversary figures is really tall. So I think that was where some of that come from.
Oh.
Anyway, so we got that out of the way. So let's talk about our our topic. You want to get into our topic tonight?
Oh, yeah, we might as well move things along. So we're
Got
doing more of
anything else
our
you want
no,
to talk about? Okay.
I really didn't. I was actually pretty breezy today.
All right. That was all the stuff that I had saved there. So,
Hmm.
all right. So, what we're going to do is we went through, actually, we did 86 to 94, and we're going to do the first part tonight, and we're going to do the second part on the next show. So, we're going to do
Hmm.
86 to 90 tonight, and we are going to go over some of the vehicles and figures that we would like, for whatever reason, to see done in classified. Perhaps it could be a really good figure that you want to see in the line, or it could be a really crappy figure that you think they could classify up and make it good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to you about this one just because it seems like one of the best challenges they have going is facing like which figures everybody expects to be crap and then turning it on its ear. And we said 86 to 90 and on because I feel like 86 to 88 was a big transition year from one generation of Joe Collector to the next, as far as how the designs started getting more and more colorful, more and more science fiction-y, a little bit more extreme than the first 4 years of the line. Plus, Hasbro's already kind of taken care of most of the stuff before 86 at this point, right?
Yeah. You know what we didn't do?
Hmm?
You know what we didn't do?
No, what's that?
We didn't talk about the leaks.
Oh, yeah. You want to do the leaks first?
Let's do
Or
the
do you want
leaks
to do
real
it up?
quick.
All
We can
right.
go through them. We can go through them quick. We can go through the leaks real quick.
Yep. At this
They're in
point,
the
they are
same.
kind of.
They're in the same folder. So I
Yeah.
like, oh well, we didn't
Oops.
talk about those.
All
So
right.
yeah. Oh well,
Let's
you
do
forget
the
things
leaks first.
sometimes. All
All right.
right, we'll do leaks. Let's do leaks. All right. So first one we got was this dude right here, Monkey Wrench. These were name only
Mhm.
leaks that were coming out. Eventually, these will probably be 2026 figures or probably the last wave of 2025, possibly. So we got Monkey. How you feel about Monkey Wrench?
Not surprised. Don't really care. He's one of the. I always felt like he was one of the dreadnoks. If you didn't watch the show, he's just kind of vanilla. Like he doesn't have the gimmicks the others have. But it'll be nice to complete the dreadnought line. He is outstanding. Everybody knows it.
I don't know. This dude had a trident gun with a spool of
Was that
cable
the
on it.
gimmick? That was the gimmick, the trident gun. I couldn't remember. I never had the figure. Right? Wasn't it
He,
sewing patches?
yeah, yeah. He's got
Mhm.
the hobo jeans
He looks
that
like
are all the
Cheech
rage.
Marin.
He does.
Mhm.
Uh, so I'm excited for Monkey Wrench, and he was by far not my favorite dreadnought. He is fourth though. Actually, technically, I guess he's fifth. Uh, I dig this. I'm excited to see what they do with Monkey Wrench. I'm a huge Dreadnought fan, so Eric says it right here. I need him to complete the Knox, and I think that's how
Exactly.
most people feel.
Yeah.
I need him, and I need Thrasher with or without the Thunder Machine, preferably with.
Yeah.
Um, I need Monkey Wrench and Thrasher, and I really want a Zanya, but that's all the Dreadnoks I need. So,
You need all the dreadnoughts. You wouldn't collect half the A team, right? Like,
right. I need all the core. I need the Sunbow Dreadnoks. Put it that
there
way.
you go.
I
That's
don't. I
fair.
don't care. I don't care about many of the later Wish ass Dreadnoks they come out with because they were multiplying like rabbits there for a while.
Mm,
So after that, we got this guy right here. There's a lot of people excited for him.
that
Um,
one, yeah, 100%.
this is the big one.
This is
This is.
the only Viper I've been waiting on, really.
I think there's a lot of people that are in that boat.
Yeah.
Um, I said, when Saw Viper was announced, I was really surprised that they did Saw Viper over Night Viper because I feel like he was the most anticipated. But I mean, I can't wait to see what they do with this guy in Classified.
Yeah, well, you can already tell that they're going to be reusing Saw Viper's head, probably, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
I
putting
thought
the
that
next
too.
mask. Yeah, but it could also be the Ally Viper's head too, the way that helmet's going to work, right? So I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with this. I loved this figure. It was after I stopped collecting, but even the gun looked interesting. Reminds me of Bosk's gun from Star Wars, the bounty hunter there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it really does. It does look a lot like Bosk's gun.
Yeah.
So I dig this dude. Like I look the patch. Like I love. Can't wait.
What I
So
do love, I want to go back. Like, what was the name of the artist that this wasn't a Ron Rudat pick, was it?
well, he did the figures. Hector Garrido did most of the art, but I think this was after Garrido's time. Matthew will
That's
probably
what I'm
know.
getting at. Because I'd be like, okay, how do you think night vision works? Because it's not a stormtrooper gun. It just
Yeah.
makes him look like he's shooting a Cyclops dick laser out of his head. But
Yeah, he's got the unicorn laser up there. Like, boy, that would really give him away, wouldn't it?
yeah, my God, he's gonna hit us with that night vision.
Yeah,
Duck.
everybody duck. It's like a searchlight sweeping the area. Like every video game, you have to duck under the searchlight. I just talked about Metal
Exactly.
Gear. So,
It just makes me go like some of the best artists in the '80s did not know how tech works.
yeah, no, well, back then they actually were selling them to kids. So
Yeah,
now
exactly.
that is why we don't need exactly one for one now. So
Yeah, that's
Legend
fair. Hey,
series in the house.
hey, Tony.
Oh, Wraith Mace says, "Oh shit, yes, Night Viper," and he's not even buying classified anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm
He,
excited for him, mostly because he's like three different colors of green.
yeah, it's got a really. He fit his role, and while being colorful, it wasn't like Frag Viper and Heat Viper and the other Vipers. This guy actually looked military,
And
not super.
he made sense.
Yeah.
He wasn't that far of a stretch of the imagination to think that this dude is out there somewhere in the league, in the rank and file of Cobra
Hmm.
specialized unit. Like they get somebody needs to go after Night Force, so Night
Hmm.
Viper.
Yeah.
So I think this is the big one most people are super excited for. Then we get
Mm.
Mr. Sci-Fi here, who has one of the best guns in G.I. Joe, I always thought.
Hmm.
What's your take on Sci-Fi? Well, he was probably around the time you got out, right?
Well, just before I got it, because I had this figure. So maybe I
Okay.
got him early and got
86.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had sci-fi. Sci-fi was the next generation of Flash as I saw it. He was Flash's replacement,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Definitely made me feel like they were definitely going for a more science fiction appeal with him than they did with Flash, but I don't think I liked him any better or any worse than Flash. He just fell into that category of laser trooper. But I know
I
tons of people want him.
I loved sci-fi as a kid. I mean, and I still love him now. Like
Hmm.
he ain't on my like top 10 Joe list or anything, but I liked him as a kid at least as much as I like Leatherneck. The same year. Um,
Hmm.
I dig this guy, and Matthew's right. They will probably do more of an Operation Blackout. They're definitely going to tone the green down, I would think, because he was like really the first bright ass neon figure before they decided they all needed to be bright neon figures.
Yeah. I'm also looking at a chance for them to really do some uncapped, never been done before stuff with with this figure. Like he'll look like sci-fi, but if you look, he's not in the day. He didn't come with a lot of kit, hose, rifle, backpack, right?
Yeah, that's
That
it.
was about it. There wasn't a whole lot of gimmick going on. And the demand on sci-fi, I think they've been sitting on him for a while.
I do
I could
too.
s- I could see them tripwiring the shit out of this. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think they will too. I think they'll definitely amp this dude up. He doesn't have a sidearm, so they're going to give him some kind of a sidearm as well. I wouldn't mind seeing them do a new version of the Destro gun, like
Mm.
the laser Destro gun that Iron Grenadier come with too. I wouldn't mind seeing them engineer a new pistol for this guy, and then you can use it in some of the spacey bastards going forward.
Well, there's been talk about drones as well, right? Because of the cartoons, and I could
Right.
definitely see that working its way into this. You have a functional backpack with dial tone. Could you not see possibilities there? You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
sci-fi
and
will be I think sci-fi is the most exciting one that they mentioned out of that, but Night Viper would be second for me on this one. And I personally like Night Viper better.
yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up for me. I think they're a good contrast to have, coming
Mhm.
out at the same time because they're splitting up the years.
But
This was 86 and Night Viper was 90, 89 or 90.
so as a the guy that really does think a lot about the original first, it does kind of annoy me that Flash is still sitting out there in limbo with the Glenda rifle and all that other done. Yet
Yeah.
sci-fi is going to already come like he came before Flash somehow. I would have liked
Yeah,
to have seen Flash out first.
I said that as well. Actually, I think the other night when Punk was talking about these, I think it was when I put it in a chat. I was like, sci-fi before Flash is like a kick in the nuts. I
Yeah,
like them
it's like
both, but I'd rather have Flash.
Yeah, it'd be like getting downtown before short fuse, right? Like a Borgerman.
Yeah,
It's just there's certain characters that did it first. Let's get them out of the way.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't need a I don't need a downtown figure at all.
Yeah.
uh, Son of a Crayon Slayer, Gridiron did a Night Viper loadout. Yeah, and Tony's Figs did the custom figure for that too.
Mhm. Yep.
And War Chest, never a fan, but like the concept from the game. So I think he will. I think he'll be a really good figure. So, oh man, really? Yeah, you need to open Glenda. Glenda's a good figure, man. She comes with some of the best, like that harness she comes with. Open her just to get
Yeah.
that harness out.
I had to fix my
So,
backpack peg. It broke.
oh no.
I fixed it.
So what about this dude right here? So I do not
Oh.
need this figure.
I'll get it because it'll probably look really cool once I've seen what they do to it. But it'll be the last one I pick up. I just don't care enough about this many snake eyes out there. But I can see that looking good in the classified, the blue, the black, the gray, the visor. Well,
And don't forget
hmm.
the chrome Jason X mask underneath the red visor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so look, um, if this is your snake eyes, I'm perfectly fine with that. You can like what you like. I've said it many times. Maybe you got into classified after or into Real American Hero, a little younger than
Mm-hmm.
me. You come along after I did, and I had the good versions of Snake Eyes. I hate this figure.
Yep.
No offense to anybody that likes it, but I have always hated this figure.
It's to me, it's the head that ruins it. The rest of it I could get behind. It doesn't really make me think of Snake Eyes when I see blue and gray. But that head, I feel like they should drop the S from Snake Eyes, call him Snake Eye, right? Like
Snake
that is
Eye.
one massive goggle. And this shoulder launch grappling hook on a ninja is friggin' hilarious.
Well, see, he was still a commando here. It wasn't until the next version that they went full on ninja with him. So
Is
they were
that
still
what
calling
those
him a commando.
is that what it says in Japanese on his wrist gauntlets? I'm a commando. Like,
Yeah, that's his that's what a Rashikagi's hexagram is. It says commando.
so I feel like the harder we hack on this figure, the better it's going to be when it comes out and classified, right?
You're
Like people
probably
need to lay
right.
into this. Yeah.
And I would expect no less because they know how divisive this figure is. You know
Hmm.
Winnie knows it. Um, so I would expect this to be a really good looking figure when we get it, when we see it. But I don't. I've said it before. Like the only other versions of Snake Eyes I need personally is I need Vietnam Snake Eyes with the boonie hat before his face got jacked up, and I want the unmasked head version. So I'll probably wind up getting the mask device with the bear because I like the irritated everything and bear. But
Yeah.
this one will probably be a pass for me personally.
I
I don't need this one.
it what I want to know about this one because at some point I feel like this many reprints after a while they have to go directly to either a Hasbro Pulse exclusive or a convention exclusive because they're the most disposed of character. You have lots of Snake Eyes option in the line that you can go and get. This guy clearly already has a divide, but if you did him as an exclusive, I feel like it wouldn't piss people off at all. Do you know what I mean? Like
If
Nemesis
he
Immortal.
Yeah, if he was a like a Pulse exclusive, maybe, but they'd have to make enough because there's enough people that like this dude. So we'll say what's up, Shane, Same
Yeah.
Time Toys, with his fancy new logo. I dig that logo. Like it. Um, so there he is. There's also the 3-0 version of this one too. I don't like that one either. Um, So I don't know. I hope they are able to knock this figure out of the park. Maybe they'll change my mind, but I'm not planning on picking this figure up myself.
No, I'll end up with it because I'm gonna be right. They're gonna make something compelling about it, but I don't see it right now.
If they do the giant shoulder mounted grappling hook, maybe maybe that's what it'll take. So all right, so there's those guys. So
Yeah,
we had to talk about them. So
it's
now
done.
we've talked about them. So
Right.
all right, so we are going to go back and we're going to talk about some 86 to 90 figures here. Close this out, and I've got your slides here, Crow, and let me open another folder and I will get mine pulled up. Maybe it won't be too hard to go back and forth on this,
Yeah.
or we
So
can just run through them. Doesn't matter to
yeah, I
me.
think we'll recognize who asked for what, right? Like I'm pretty sure I still have my notes on which one. So guys, it'll be one figure, one vehicle per Joe, per Cobra, per year. So 4 per year out of either of us, and then we're done with it. But it was kind of fun to
That's
look
right.
at them.
Yeah, going back at these and checking these out. So I think will be fun. Let me just
Yeah,
situate my tabs here. So if you want to go first on 1986, I'll go ahead and pull yours up.
sure.
Doo-doo-doo. I swear I will. All right. So this was who we had right here. So tell us about Wetsuit Crow.
Yeah, so wetsuit's one of the ones where I was like, they absolutely have to do it, not because it's ugly, but because there's a high demand. We don't have enough Navy guys in the Joe line right now with him outstanding. And I honestly think he's right around the corner. If sci-fi is getting out of the way, I think wetsuit has to get out of the way. That's all.
What's up, Sean Jones, joining us?
Oh,
Thank you, man.
and
Wetsuit,
how many orange
absolutely.
pieces do we have? How many orange pieces do we have in the Joe line right now?
I don't think we got any orange, do we?
That'll be the reason why. They want orange.
Um, yeah, I dig Wetsuit. I was always a big fan of Wetsuit, and we've got Leatherneck. Leatherneck without Wetsuit was when we were waiting on Alpine, when we had Bazooka and Quick Kick,
There
same
you go.
type of thing. We got to get us a wetsuit, and I think they're doing that kind of like when we were talking about Flash. So they're kind of stalling on Flash. I think they've been stalling on Wetsuit. Hopefully
Mhm.
he's coming soon. So alrighty, and then we got that one.
It's inevitable. I think that has to be coming because yeah, between somewhere between a stinger and a hiss, you need some more character storage. And I think the stun has got to be one of the stupidest concepts I've ever seen for a war vehicle. And seeing that classified up, I still don't think it's enough. I won't. I honestly think even in classified form, somebody's gonna walk out of there and go, "I quit."
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved the stun. I was a huge fan of the stun, and I love Motor Viper. Motor Viper is one of my favorite Vipers.
Motor Viper counts, I think, in this one as my Cobra figure pick because I just want to see what they do to make this guy stand out as a Motor Viper,
Yeah, they got to get. Maybe he'll come with a motor,
right?
some
Like gears for
motorboat,
teeth.
a motorboating son of a bitch. So, uh, Wraith Mace heading to bed. Got to be at the office at 6 a.m.
All right.
Sleep tight, my man. Thank you for joining us.
Well, dream of heresy.
We were we were proven wrong. So barbecue's orange, wreckage has a little bit of orange,
Yeah, all right.
negligible, and alley viper. So we
Yeah, I
don't
mean the point still stands. Count how many
not
orange
much.
versus how many green, how many black, right?
Yeah, and he's like bright ass orange. Like
Yeah.
he's General Lee orange.
Lots of Tiger Force orange, but
It's more of a burnt orange.
yeah.
Uh, let's see. All right, so we got there's one more. think for 86.
Yeah, devilfish. I don't care what they say. This thing needs to happen just because of the size, and it's an easy low hanging point. And who didn't love the devilfish? You didn't love the devilfish when that thing came out. I question things.
I still remember when I got my devilfish. I was in a hospital bed.
Oh man.
I had just had my tonsils taken out,
Oh right,
and
there you go.
that was a get well soon gift in the hospital from getting my tonsils out. It didn't. I was easy. It didn't take much to cheer me up. GI Joe
Mm.
stuff would always do the trick. So
Yeah,
I love this thing.
and they just couldn't have picked two better characters to go on that beachhead and wetsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of funny stuff done. Like Frostbite did a video, and Punk and Frostbite did a video about some of the box art and the really
Yes.
ridiculous choices. Like
Hmm.
they couldn't have got this one any more perfect, having these two characters from this year with it.
Yeah. Yeah. This was an example of good box art, right?
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
Shane wants to know if you have a thing for orange.
Ah, no, not really. I like colors of all sorts, but I do look at balance and aesthetics. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a lot
Daredevil
of good
Dave.
toys. Yeah. Daredevil toys.
Um, Yeah, I mean, for sure. Dave in the house. What's up, Dave? Yeah, man, this devilfish, we need it. Like you said, size wise, get, good for 2, 3 figures. And it is something they can give us for water battles, right? We
Hmm.
talked about they think that it's hard to do boats and water things, and we talked about it. We've talked about it, when I was campaigning for the hydrofoil. This would be an easy one, and you could put this up against like the night landing. Cobra had another that hydro sled thing that they did. So
Hmm.
there are options for smaller vehicles for this. So I love those.
Yeah, I think anything under the size of a vamp really needs to be ignored what element it's in when Hasbro looks at it. If it's already been on a shelf in that size, that much plastic at that price, it doesn't matter if it's land, sea, or air. You probably have a market for
Yeah.
it. Right?
Uh, that scale, yeah. I mean, it's perfect. Go on a shelf, throw
Mhm.
a like these shelves over here, throw down a blue whatever piece of linen or a hella pillowcase, and there's your water. Bunch
Yep.
it up, put that thing on there. So Shane's I'm shocked Triple C doesn't have 5 of them by now. Yeah.
The
Mr. Madgus says I was out hunting cat when a lot of this come out. I wasn't
I,
quite there yet.
I feel like cat's just a grosser version of pussy.
I think that was a euphemism.
I
That's what
don't
they
do
call
those.
that.
We're blunt
Yeah,
here.
right. Right. So, all right. So let me bounce over to
Yours.
mine. So we'll
Hmm.
look at my picks for 1986. Now these, you know he was going to be in there. So
Absolutely.
I already knew my man Cross Country is going to be in there. Now I'm not stupid. I know they're not going to give me this cross country. Just give me a cross country. Uh, lose the belt buckle. You could, you might could get away with the hat, but if you got to lose the hat, okay. But keep the same basic look. Keep the shoulder pad, the outfit, his whole look, the rest of his uniform perfectly fine. Just give me that version of the dude. And if you're not going to do that hat, just give me an unmasked head and maybe a helmet with him, something. Got to have the goggles. Um, so I definitely want cross country at some point. Um, Mr. Magnus, I want the belt and hat. Um, I want the belt and hat, but we ain't never gonna get it. So not even gonna pretend. We can't get a fucking hooded Cobra Commander, so we
Mhm.
definitely ain't gonna get stars and bars on a belt buckle. So cross country, and you're gonna give me cross country, give me the Havoc. Uh, it would have to be a HasLab, I think. Um,
Yeah, it's a larger.
yeah, it's beyond the scale of retail or a Pulse exclusive or whatever. But I love the Havoc. Always had. This was one of my favorite vehicles when I was a kid. So
It's
give me that Havoc.
I think that would be one of the funnest HasLabs out there. Again, people would quit if they had to make this and figure out all the ways to make it work. But holy crap, I just noticed I never had this as a kid. I didn't realize like dial tone and cross country are sitting there lying down, face down, controlling this thing, turning, shooting their guns in separate directions, and dial tone has this damn backpack on.
Yeah, the canopy was huge. I will give them that. So I'm laughing at all the euphemisms in the chat. So I would crack it up looking at that.
Suck, I
Lunchbox
think.
Killer in the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Give me some Havoc. I love this thing. So moving on. So there's my Joe and my Cobra. So give me this some bitch right here.
AVAC.
Give me AVAC. Give me I don't have to have the Firebat, but I want AVAC. This was such a good looking figure, and they're starting to dabble in the VAC metal stuff. So could you imagine if they did this dude in like Crimson Strike Team red and do some VAC metal on this dude? So I love this guy. This is one of my favorite Cobra figures that they've ever made. So there's my Cobra, and yes, I did go ahead and say put it on here. Give me a Firebat with him. So
There you
this
go.
guy, he was released in one of those later anniversary type lines with the Firebat. I don't know if it was one of the Toys R Us ones, but they did re-release him just with the Firebat. This thing was so badass. Never mind the Terradrome, awesome as it was. This was the key feature for me for the Terradrome. So give me those two together. Give me Cross Country and the Havoc together. And those are my 1986 picks.
So I mean, it goes to whoa, hello, handsome. Why am I so big on? Oh, I blew up the screen. That's why I was looking at myself.
I didn't do anything. I
got two monitors going. No, but I mean, like it goes to the whole thing. How do we address classified and get right down that line, but ignore so many drivers in the future? I think they need to do a subline just on drivers,
I
like
would be
vehicle
down
crews.
with that. Those were some of my favorite Joes were the drivers. I mean, Cover Girl,
Yeah.
Copperhead, Toll Booth, Cross Country. I mean, I can't sit here and even name them all. There's so
Heavy
many.
metal, Skidmark, like just
Yep.
give us all the drivers. Who cares? But wouldn't that be a great use of QR code to have a three-dimensional render of the vehicle they drew that you could explore and do things with, right, on your tablet or something?
It makes too much sense for them, man. So Shane says, I'd take the flyer from the Havoc so you could put Cross Country with that and sell it as a Trouble Bubble price point.
Why not? Who knows?
So
We'll have
K-Mac,
stupider suggestions.
yes, much. K-Mac in the house. What's going on? K-Mac. Just read through the chat here. They'd have to retool it if they made it. Yeah, they'd have to same with the Demon. They'd have to do something with it. Yes. AVAC. All right, so ready for 87?
I guess if that's where we're at.
We are at 87, so this is you.
Yeah, this isn't one of the challenges. It's more of this I think really should happen now that we're getting into the expansion of the 60th anniversary soldier. I think there's a big space for a figure like this gung ho. That's all. I think it'd be a mistake not to do this gung ho.
I do too. I think this is a figure like what we were saying about that Snake Eyes. I think this figure would make a better exclusive.
Yeah, sure. Give it to me like that. I don't care. Just do it.
I'm all for making it. I loved this version of Gung Ho. It was weird when it come out because it was so out of the blue. Nobody else. We didn't have any other. We didn't have greens. We didn't have whites. We just got Gung Ho in the blues. So
Mm.
I think it would be a perfect exclusive figure. And Eric says we're never going to get it. They said they'd never do this figure. Well, they're never going to do it because the whole thing is copyrighted, like the logo, the uniform. But we're doing theoretics here, so I would
Uh,
I'd love to have it. And Mr.
I,
Madgus, I'll pass. I have no use for him in dress blues. Not for
there you
everybody.
go. And I'm not saying they have to, like, I get why they don't do this, but I also don't believe in never, and I do not believe in impossible. All right. Somebody's going to
Yeah,
budge. Somebody budges. All right.
yeah,
And when I sit there and see firefighters being honored, but soldiers being fictionalized, then I sit there and go, okay, where's the happy middle ground? And it's right here. You know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't think that's a wrong way to look at it, and I can accept if they don't get around to it, but I think it's a damn shame, and it doesn't make
yeah.
much sense.
And I can definitely see you are a soldier, so I can definitely see that being a good compromise middle ground for
Mhm.
something that you would want in the line for sure.
Eh,
But I would take him. I just want him as an exclusive.
eh.
I have him. I still have him. He's about 6 feet away from me in a Ziploc bag. So,
Yeah, I mean, I
Clint,
don't.
I
Seen a
can
lot of
use this
Marines
for
out there, and they don't all have open vests walking around all the time,
right.
right?
Clint says this can be used for my officer and a gentleman dio. Well, who is going to be Lewis Gossett Jr.?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
right,
is it
Clint.
is it Roadblock?
Well, we had to send this figure because he had nowhere else to go.
Right. I don't think Trump cares about GI Joe. So,
Uh,
all right. So on to the next one, which is also one that I predict within the next year. I've talked about it many, many times, and Crow has it on his list.
oh, is it one of mine? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's crept up in everything recently, comics and everything. And I mean, how many Cobra Commanders are left that we haven't seen?
there's still a few. They got the one with the awful red visor, which I'll still buy because it's Cobra Commander. But this is one of my most wanted figures right here.
Actually, a real American hero that did the Hama series currently. They've shown another various air armored Cobra Commander that could show up, but I think this one
Yeah,
has to get out of the way first.
I want this figure badly, but I do want if they do this figure, man, I want the removable helmet, and I need them to acknowledge Fred 7 and give
Hmm.
us a CG head, an unmasked CG head underneath it. That that damn Agent Venom Flash Thompson this out that just come out, that is a perfect Fred 7 head.
Yeah, I put one on pre-order just for that.
It is perfect, man. All you need that head and any version of the Crimson Guard, and you've got Fred 7. So
Hmm.
definitely want this one. So go to Crow's vehicle. To
Okay,
hell,
hear me out.
man.
Nobody would see the road toad coming, right? Now, picture they classify this. It fits on the back of your Vamps. It fits on the back of your Stingers. It can tow a busted down, say, a couple Rams, maybe a Tiger Paw. Like there's something about this that I'm like, that's got a place on a shelf for the current market if they did it right, and it would be cheap as hell.
Yeah, it
That's
would
it.
be. Yeah, it would be a low price point, but they said they're not going to do these without figures. So
Mm,
would this come with a true V2 roadblock?
I mean, I don't know about the figures thing. I think that's when I hear a mission statement like that, I'm like, yeah, but that's based off of the last few reports of returns for the year. right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to protect growth in your company, you're doing that off of what you're seeing in front of you and what projections are. But if you tell everybody you're not going to do anything, you're not going to do this line, then you'll never know. Do you know what I mean? Like they say, we're never going to do marine vehicles. We're never going to. At some point, they were saying we're never going to do terrain pieces, or we can't figure out how to do it. So
Yeah.
sometimes saying never just means they haven't figured out how to approach it yet.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I think personally, most everybody would be happy to see some vehicles like this without a figure. You know,
Yeah, I mean, there's a
we
long
didn't
list
need
of trailers.
we didn't need the Televiper with the flight pod, but I think it's something most everybody would have bought anyway, like those two things.
Hmm.
But they didn't have to come together. Oh, and is it any coincidence that the road toad is pictured with roadblock?
Toad block,
Toad block, chode block.
chode block.
So all right,
It
so
works.
on to your Cobra.
Yeah.
This is one I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen announced. I
Me
see
too.
this thing. I see this thing coming with Heart Wrencher.
Yeah, and I agree. It was also some of these years had so much out that there wasn't really anything out left for you to pick from as far as a choice for what you think they should do. And it was starting to
Yes.
get hard. I don't know if you noticed a couple of years were really hard to go, all right,
Yeah.
Joe's easy. Cobra sucks right now. All
Yeah.
right. But what I wanted to say about the Dreadnought cycle is the challenge. The challenge for this thing, I think, is yeah, okay, I get it. You'll probably want to throw Heart Wrencher or some sort of troop builder with this that reflects Dreadnoughts, simply because I could see this being like a box of Lego. And this is how we get out maybe 7 different motorcycles out of Dreadnoughts just through a kit that says, well, you can make a 3-wheeler, you can make a 2-wheeler. Here's 2 different front ends, here's 3 different seats. Go
If they
nuts.
if they made this modular, they would sell the shit out of it. You wouldn't be able to find this thing in stock anywhere.
You would have a mechanized Dreadnought bike gang everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'd have one. You'd have one on my shelf. I'd have to give them their own shelf somewhere, which
Mhm.
eventually I'm probably going to try to, or at least half a shelf and get them together. But yeah, if they made this thing modular, because what do you see on these classified Facebook groups and forums and whatever? Everybody is trying to find the perfect bike to put their dreadnoughts on. And if they
And
did this and did it right,
and I think Shane, same time toys, I think he's going to agree with me with most of what I'm about to say. And if Rape Maze was still here, he would be too. The Dreadnoughts are to G.I. Joe and the toy line what the orcs are to the Warhammer 40K universe, which is a bunch of junkyard jockeys that slap together a bunch of crap and turn it into a killing machine.
yeah,
It's the same thing. So when it comes to the G.I. Joe line, Dreadnoughts is the one where I'm like, modular is the way to go. Give people choices here because it could look like any piece of crap. Why is it gotta, how do you troop build the same piece of crap?
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
they would not be building them out of the same parts. That was the beauty of the Thunder Machine. I mean, it looked
Mhm.
like they built it in a junkyard after
Yeah.
watching Mad Max.
And that's why I'm like, if the Hasbro isn't looking at modular components to take away or add to Dreadnought stuff, then I think they're doing Dreadnoughts wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I think the only people that get it are probably Lenny and Tony.
Mhm.
So there is Crow's 1987. So
Let's do yours.
find my 1987 here. Such a good year. Actually,
I'm
it
gonna turn
wasn't.
my camera off, so but I got the mic on.
Okay.
I gotta go
Oh,
inside for a minute.
all right. Actually, 1987 wasn't a good year. 1987 was a
Oh,
shit year, personally.
it did suck. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant for toys.
So
Because
give me this dude. No, it was a great year for toys.
I
So give me William Perry. I think everybody, I think even if you didn't care about this figure at all when you were a kid, I think most
Mhm.
people probably want him now. I
Man,
didn't have him as a kid. Pop Blender had him, but I didn't have him.
I just remember the the Bears were the biggest thing in the world when this came out.
Oh, for
Mike
sure.
Ditka and the Bears.
The
You know,
Bears.
the Bears. Thank you, SNL. But yeah, as far as getting the Perry estate to release a contract that would allow Hasbro to build this again, I think it, I don't think Hasbro has an interest in writing a check that has more than a couple of numbers on it, anyways.
It don't seem like it, and I think Pop Blender nailed it last time. He talked about this figure was, they could probably use the money.
Hmm.
Like they have his likeness. I would
Hmm.
think they could probably use the money and they would get plenty of it if they made this guy. I don't know what their financials are like, but you know, there ain't no more endorsements coming at this point. So
Uh,
give it to Hasbro. Let them make this guy for us.
yeah, I mean, like, it gets confusing when like Sergeant Slaughter has a contract with Hasbro. He's got a contract with Valorverse. Yet the Fridge is a state. You're right. I'm sure they would love to see some residuals come out of their son, but
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what I feel like it's all legalities, but I feel like there's a market for Fridge.
yeah, I do too. And if they feel like that about it, make him an exclusive. But I don't think if they ever were able to obtain the rights to his likeness, I don't think they'd lock it as an exclusive. They'd want to sell as many as possible.
You want to know what I think the workaround would be with this? Is turn Captain Gridiron into the Fridge, just with a head sculpt.
No. Yeah, I mean that's a big swap. Just the head or the arms too.
Well, the arms too, but you know what I mean? Like, work around it.
Yeah.
We don't have to pay people.
I will tell you one thing. That is the only damn way I would want a Captain Gridiron figure.
All right.
I hated that son of a bitch. So Clint says I judge a great GI Joe year by how good Larry Bird was. In '87, he was still an MVP candidate. So, yeah, Pop Blender Eric, he had him. I remember when he got him, a little football on the spike thing.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, the football weapon. I forgot about that.
yeah, the football mace. So, yeah, Roger Staubach over the Fridge. Yeah, but in 1987, though, wasn't a whole lot of people still talking about Staubach. Fridge was all the rage. Let's see. Shark Eyes in the house. What's going on, man? All the way from tomorrow. So I got Fridge. So my next one for are these okay? No, they're not out of order. So let's see some Persuader. I love this thing. Never mind backstop. Sorry, Crow, but I, I took Fridge over backstop. The one
Mm.
Canadian Joe. Uh, I love the Persuader. This thing was sweet. It's a nice futuristic looking. I don't know. Does that qualify as a tank? I don't know. I don't know what. I don't remember the dimensions, but I like this thing. Just the idea of something with 10 wheels and a giant ass gun and a turret. I just always really liked the Persuader.
Yeah, I mean, I never had it, and I never really got a good look at it. But you're saying it's got 10 wheels. I thought it had a
Yeah.
track.
No, it's wheeled.
God, that would be a meat. Oh, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
yeah,
just wheeled.
it's cool. It's small. That's what I like about it. It's small, like for
Yes.
shelf spacing.
Yeah, this is a vehicle that they could do and get away with in a retail market.
Mhm.
Or online retail space, whatever, however they're doing it. So this is one I think they could get away with doing. So I got Persuader now for my 87 Cobra. I got this guy. We're gonna get him. Royal Guard
Oh yeah,
overall. We're probably gonna see this guy by the end of the year, announced at least.
I have a feeling we've already seen them.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen part of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I do definitely. I do want this guy. He was my favorite of the Cobra Law figures, the 3-pack when I was a kid. So I dug Royal Guard. So I definitely think that we're going to be seeing him soon with the Cobra Law vibe. And Shark Eye says the Persuader, he loves it and has a modern backstop driving it.
Oh, there you
So
go. Yeah. I agree. Cobra
Charlock
Law. Oh, hey, Sherlock's here. Cool. And cool kids do hang out here.
and Sabir Del Norte, Sabir of the North, they're here. So I'm guessing somebody else must have just ended.
Maybe.
What's
Must
up,
have.
y'all?
Hey,
We'll
guys.
take all we can get. Thanks for showing up.
I'm with you on the Royal Guard, man, just because it's pretty low hanging fruit as a troop builder that Cobra is going to need on the shelves for a little while to keep us spending our money. And Python Patrol is done, as far as I can tell, unless you're going to get into vehicles. So here's your next, you know.
I can definitely do without Cobra Law vehicles. I'll take this dude as a 2-pack though. This may be one of the 2-packs that's planned. There's like 2 or 3 on the leak list, so
Hmm.
maybe we'll get a 2-pack of these guys. Who knows? So for my Cobra vehicle for 87, give me the Wolf.
Yes,
You
I
call him the
had this as
Wolf?
well. Yeah, I
Yeah.
picked that as well, and then I changed it because you picked it.
You calling the Wolf? Shit, that's all you had to say. I love this thing. I actually love Ice Viper. I never understood why they gave him size, but uh, this thing's perfect to fight the snowcat. I
Yeah.
love the skis, the Cobra torpedo skis. I like Techno Viper hanging off the end of it over here. He's like, hey, it's colder than motherfucker out here. What you
Well,
doing, man?
and it's true. If you look at it, like as the 80s progressed, the snow vehicles started doing away with things like canopies to keep the drivers protected from the wind and everything. I saw this and I was like, this was actually well thought out as far as keeping crew alive in the Arctic. With the exception of
Yeah.
Techno Viper on the skid, Crockmaster, he looks comfortable, you know.
Of all the and look, he isn't. The heat is kicking in there because he did not put on any sleeves. You know, the Wolf has got
Well,
a good heater in it. Clearly,
well, then that makes me wonder, is like, which of these two guys is actually comfortable here? Either one's too hot or one's too cold.
perhaps Ice Viper is just more acclimated to it, and he just
Yeah.
may it turned his cockpit climate control off, perhaps. So,
Yeah.
so that's my 87 Cobra vehicle pick. I love the Ice Wolf. I had that thing.
That
So
was a good pick.
let's see. Or Wolf. I always call it the Ice Wolf. It's Ice Viper.
Mm.
Ice Viper.
I like that white and red on that Viper too.
He
It
looks
would look
good.
good. Yeah.
He's a really good looking, well designed figure.
And we
So
do
get on
need we need an Arctic Viper, eh? We have a Serpent, we have a Bat. We don't have a Trooper. We don't have a Viper.
and they're beating the shit out of poor Snow Job.
Yeah, right? Poor Snow Job.
Yeah, we ain't got no frostbite, no wind chill, no blizzard, no any other snow guys. It's just Snow Job out there with a sniper rifle and his skis.
Yep.
Um,
I got all my snow guys up here with snow jobs in the back being protected by toys from other lines.
Snow Job doing it all on
Um,
his own.
yeah.
So 88. We
Yeah, there
got
was a reason I
this
picked
guy.
this clown. I hate this figure.
I did too.
Oh my God. So this is where I want it, just because I want to see somebody at Hasbro make this work and make it acceptable, cool. And I think the only way to do it is to give this guy the most like beyond scrap iron mangled face of claw marks all over his face of trying to tame this puma.
It's a puma. So and if you listen to Pop Blender's lore, you will know that Max was really in control the whole time and was mind controlling Spearhead. He was a homicidal bobcat and controlled Spearhead through mind control.
I would buy it. I would. I don't trust cats. I love cats because they're evil like me. But the
He
idea of this
definitely
guy having an attack cat was great.
there he is, that evil Max.
Yeah.
Uh, I did love the fact that they gave him a bobcat, but I always hated this figure. And now
Mhm.
that I have it pulled up and we're talking about it, I do have to. Well, it's not letting me for some reason. It's not letting me blow it up. I wanted to blow up so we could get another good look at the artwork here for
Mm.
Max because it is absolutely horrifying.
He's got
No,
nothing but head. He is just a big
yeah,
ass head.
it's like he farted and surprised himself, and he's turning around to bite it. So, um,
Yeah.
but so there's so you got Spearhead and Max. So then you got this dude.
Yeah. Well, just on this on Spearhead though, I would say like that would actually make a good classified buck. Like
Oh yeah,
modernized, they'll do something good with it. Voltaire, I picked because Iron Grenadiers were here. I know he's coming. He's another guy with an animal companion, this time a vulture, right? But purple and gold.
yeah.
Ooh, it,
I
when it works, it works. When it doesn't, I think his name will be Voltaire.
I always thought this was a cool looking figure. You look at him now and you're like, okay, so he's not really purple. He's more lavender than purple.
Mhm.
So they darken this up and get it somewhere between the Techno Vipers, two purples, and then do the gold. I think this would be such a good looking figure.
Again, yeah, that classified effect, right? Making it look
Yeah.
good even though it shouldn't.
Yeah. Yep. Shane, his gun kicked ass. I love that damn suppressed SMG that he come with. I always like that thing, and he is so coming. And I'm
Mhm.
with Charlotte. So this was actually one of the figures that somewhere along the way that we were predicting would be announced this year. This was definitely one of the figures that I think's coming this year. I think we're going to see him and Gold Destro, Pimp Destro. Well, no, Gold
Oh yeah.
Destro. We already got Pimp Destro announced this year.
No, I'm agreeing. Like I said, I picked it mainly because it wasn't out yet. There hasn't been any drops for it, but you do know it's coming, right?
Oh yeah, he is definitely going to be coming
Mhm.
sometime soon. And Pop Blender says if that purple was Prince purple with the gold, that figure would be 100 times better. And I think that's what they'll. I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll darken that purple and
Yeah.
make it even more of a royal. Like he doesn't really look royal here, but I think
Yeah.
if they darken the purple, that's all it'll take.
Now,
So
I
got
I also know that there's some people in our chat that remember I had a problem with Techno Vipers purple and silver, and I was calling them Grimace. And then they brought it up on my Saw Viper reviews and what I was saying
right.
about the Saw Viper. But I mean, to me, it's got just as much to do with the head as it does with the body, right? Like Techno Viper had a goofy looking head to me. Voltaire's head just reminds me of something out of a Sean Connery action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Connery. The head sculpt looked like him.
Hmm.
Always thought that too. Um, and Charlotte. Hope IG Destro with the despoiler is an exclusive. I think he will be this year. I think it'll either be SDCC or PulseCon, and the other one will be Globulus. And that's just my guess.
Hmm.
It's my pick for it. So then you had for the vehicle, you had this one.
The imp. There's something about the imp that tells me it would actually really be kind of cool as a classified vehicle.
I
It,
liked it. I had the imp.
did you? I didn't. But I kind of I think it was after my time anyways. But when I look at this, I'm like, that's not as ridiculous as I would have expected it to be.
I think the only thing they would really need to do is get him a little further down in
Oh,
what's
100%.
passing for a cockpit there.
Yeah.
Um, maybe so he don't blow his own head off with the missile, but the
No, but
missile.
if you look at the depth of the front end, you can tell like the idea is that he could sit down and drive this thing around, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just it's one of the less ridiculous looking Cobra vehicles of that time, I thought.
yeah. Hit the nail on the head there. I think so
Mhm.
too. I think that's what I always kind of liked about it was semi believable, whereas a lot of the Cobra stuff wasn't. The Joe stuff you could kind of take with a grain of salt, but some of the Cobra stuff, like the stun that we talked about, like, could you
Mhm.
imagine actually driving that thing and it splits
Looking at the
apart
guy beside you going, you know what would win the fight right now is if I went that way and you went that way.
and we completely exposed the driver?
Yeah, yeah.
It had those
He'll never
awesome
see this
flags.
coming.
No, never. Just don't make any sharp turns left or
Yeah.
right because we're going to go cartwheeling.
Yeah.
But it
Careful
had
not
those
to kill them all. We got to leave some for the pogo.
Yeah, that's right. And then it had those awesome flags though, like I had on the back of my go kart.
Yeah.
Pop Blender said he'd rather have a vehicle called the Gimp.
The gimp. Yeah.
The Gimp. When you look at most of the vehicles, people that get the worst of it are hanging off the side or in the cockpit. That
Yeah.
is true. So
Mhm.
then your next one for this year was a really, really badass one. And that's this thing.
Yeah. I don't see this would need to be bigger. I need it to be bigger than it is for what it is. Like it's supposed to be like an MLAV or the Marines,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got such a short profile. It would work. It'd just be very science fiction-y with a ton
Yeah.
of realism.
So
If they
did
did it
you?
as a HasLab, I could understand Shane, but it would have to be bigger than what they did originally.
I think it's big enough that they could do it as a HasLab and scale it up just a little bit because it was
Yeah.
pretty big. Did you have this?
No, this was after I got out, but when I
Okay.
saw it, I was like, God damn, that's cool. You know?
I had it. This was one of the coolest vehicles that there was. I love this thing, and I love this
Mhm.
version of Sergeant Slaughter that came with it. Um,
Mm.
but this was a good pick. I love the Warthog thing. Was so badass.
Oh man. Yeah. It was one of the ones where it was like, oh, so you do like some of your American military kit and you will make toys out of it, right? That's what it
Yeah.
made me think of. Just like the A10 showing its head in the Rattler, right? Like it was one of those kind of things.
I really always loved it. And you're right, it did have that uh, feel of the marine landing craft.
Mhm.
And I think that's why we liked it so much was because it was semi believable. So for my 88s, we talked about him earlier. He was brought up, and I didn't want to say too much. So
Yeah.
I do have him on my list. Uh, I'd never really cared a lot for the figure. I said that, but I think they wouldn't even have to do that much to the design on this guy. They could almost just about do the figure just like this. I need a removable boonie hat though. I've got
Yeah.
to have a removable boonie hat.
Yeah, you need options with that.
Give
I
him a shotgun. We basically got, we got enough good shotguns. They could repurpose something. We've got this shotgun in the fucking line already. If they give him the boogie board, okay, that's what everybody's gonna want with this guy. So, do they
yeah.
use boogie boards in the swamp though?
Yeah. I've
I
never
don't know.
fought in a swamp. So the entire idea of a boogie board to me is you run for a bit and you jump on and you coast. And I'm like, how does
Mhm.
that serve you in a swamp?
I always that was what I always didn't like about this figure was it was the boogie board, and that was one of most people's, I think, favorite things about this guy was they give him a boogie board because they were all the rage then,
Well,
and I just never made sense for a swamp for me.
no, but as a toy, it made perfect sense back in the day, right? Because
Yeah,
like you got to remember, GI Joe sold a windsurfer through the mail system, and it worked, right? Because these were toys that you used to put in a bag and take to the beach and go to the park, actually play with them in the bathtub. So a
yeah.
boogie board was something you could play with on the water, and your guy could have a story. And I got it, but it doesn't translate well when you think about it as an adult. That's all.
No, and it definitely doesn't. And like we just talked about, they're making these for us, but this is one of those things if they made this guy and they didn't give him some type of the boogie board with it, I think people would probably, I think it'd be a lot of backlash if he didn't have it. So
Oh
I
God,
think
we'd
it'd
be
be a
going
really, yeah. The
pass. Wait till
forums,
Ollie's.
yeah, the forums
Yeah.
would be lit up. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? So,
Yeah.
oh, Mr. Madgus, I hope the Gators use boogie boards. All right, so let's see. Hold on, see what Pop says. He's on the boogie board and it loses velocity. What does that do for him then? Sink.
Well, that's when he swings the machete like a wild man and hopes he remembered to reload that shotgun, right? Like,
Maybe he could use the machete as a paddle.
yeah.
paddle, paddle. I'm gonna use this row, and I'm gonna row your ass. I watched the Golden Child this weekend.
No, God, yeah.
All right, so for my Joe vehicle, give me this thing. Give me the Desert Fox. I love this thing.
Yeah, I saw you pick that and I was like, that makes good sense too. It would look awesome modernized a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't even have to do too much to this thing, I don't think, to bring it up into classified. And this is another one that they could definitely do a retail release or whatever Pulse exclusive, whatever. Look, $7.76, man. Right there. Remember them old greens? Y'all have those green Walmart tags up there
Yep.
back then?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I've still got some card backs that have those on still on it. But I
Mhm.
love the Desert Fox. I even like Skidmark. I thought Skidmark was a good figure. He just had an unfortunate name.
Yeah, and I
Um,
never understood how they could pick that name and it passed through everybody's filters.
man, and so when you are in the military, a lot of times you don't give yourself your own nickname, correct? You get a
Well,
nickname. I mean, like
no,
you go by last name, but if you got a nickname, people give it to you, right?
trust me, if you pick your own nickname, that's not your nickname, dude.
Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
that's what I figured. So somewhere along the way, this guy gave somebody a reason to call him Skidmark.
And if it's not covered on the file card, I think that's a travesty.
Yes, they definitely should have explained his code name on there. So,
Mhm.
so
But
yeah, shitty
you,
draws.
yeah, man, like you need to make a comment about the Joe Laundry system when you're talking about the Desert Fox's driver.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So what do you have exactly? What do you have to do to get the code name Skidmark? And I know you've Big Bang Theory. I reference from time to time. I know you said you didn't watch it, but it's like
Not
the
often, no.
episode where Howard is getting ready to. He's going into space as an engineer, and he's trying to get an awesome nickname, and he's having a conference call with the astronauts, and he has somebody call him, and he set his ringtone to play Rocket Man.
I
So,
did see that one. He wanted
so
that
yeah,
name.
and
Yes.
then when he was on the conference call, but right as it started ringing, his mom started hollering for him that she had his bowl of Fruit Loops ready. And so that became his astronaut nickname was Fruit Loops.
Yes,
So
I
maybe
did see that one.
something like that perhaps happened to Mr. Skidmark. So all right. So moving along. So for my Cobra for this year, I want the Star Viper. I love this figure, the Stellar Stiletto Pilot. And
Mm.
this isn't a good picture of it. I just pulled the file card. I should have grabbed the figure, I guess. But I love these guys. I actually wrote them into my fan fiction last month. So I just always just a really good looking figure, really well done. And if you're
Sure.
gonna have a Cobra that goes into space, Star Viper stuff writes
Yeah,
itself.
he would be a nice way to ease into the Joe Space collection because after that it gets pretty rough.
Yeah, after this guy, and I'd say the Defiant and possibly the Crusader. After that, it falls off a freaking cliff.
Yeah, when we get into alien mercenaries and shit.
Yeah, it goes downhill quick. So,
The
all right.
space clutch.
So with this guy, yes, I did pick the
Yeah.
Stellar Stiletto. I had to. I love this plane, man. Things just it looks like a stiletto. It's badass. It's a Cobra space fighter, and it's got an awesome pilot. So that was my
It does.
pick for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't slam the stiletto.
yeah,
Fictitious looking, weird looking, but it would look great.
and this is a small vehicle. They could probably do this with the figure for 70, 80 bucks, 80 bucks maybe. I think they could get away with pricing this at. So say what's up, Allison. Troy Retro Toy Princess is here.
Hi, Allison.
Earlier in the stream, Allison, I did show it, and I was thinking about you. Did you see that Best Action Figures is going to do a 12-inch 40th anniversary gem figure with 29 points of articulation? They showed that earlier in the stream. If you didn't catch that, and go back and look at it on the replay if you didn't know about it. I have a feeling you knew about it. All right, let's close that one out and get on to our last one for this year. For our picks, rounding out. And get this guy pulled up. We got 19 people still with us. Hit that like if you hadn't done that yet. I'd appreciate it. I always forget to say it. Helps in that algorithm. So
Algorithm.
So you got this guy
explaining to do. Yeah,
explaining.
I know how you feel about Scoop. I know how people who watch the cartoon feel about Scoop. I get that. Why is my phone not charging, guys? Sorry, I'm having phone issues right now. If I get dropped on this, I'm gonna lose my mind. I just felt it was important to have the combat cameraman on there, and I see some video equipment that they could have a lot of fun upgrading, which would give them some room to do more with the character. So I think that he would be a good character to get done.
He's definitely one that I think they can bring into the line and do something with. I never liked this dude. I see the need for him. We talked about that with the Legend legacy line, like a combat journalist, embedded journalist. So they made him pretty cool in the IDW run later. So I have hope, but I definitely think that we're probably going to get Scoop at some point. And this would be a perfect one for him to classify up, change his gear a little bit, change up his uniform, and he'll fit in. I think I could be excited for Scoop. I just never liked the Real American Hero version.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of the embedded media that the soldiers deal with and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, I really should be in this lines. Again, like I said, it's just that video camera that bugs me. It's like Lady J's video camera. We could see better now.
But they really were that big then.
They were. Yeah.
So
all
right. Oh, for your Cobra.
Oh, who did I pick? Oh, this guy. Again,
I completely forgot he was Iron Grenadier.
It's the best of all my shit today. It's orange. It's Iron Grenadier.
It's purple.
It's got a stupid visor helmet. It's yeah, everything you're asking for. How do you make this work for classified? This is whoever if they make this in classified and this becomes like the figure of the year, kind of like it's hard to find because it sells out so fast. That guy replaces Chris Cox. Put him up the chain.
He I've got him. I still have him. Actually, this is one of the few figures that I have complete. I've still got the helicopter backpack. I looked at this guy and I thought, he would make a good trooper. He'd make a good troop builder, but how do you make him and not have his gimmick and still be the same guy? I don't know. Like he's like, the other one, he's like Muskrat with the boogie board. Like, how do you do this guy and not give him the helicopter backpack and still call him Annihilator?
So not only that, but it's like, okay, so hang on, let's work the logic here. We had access to jump packs this whole time, but the Iron Grenadiers have decided that the Whirlybird blade is the way to go, right?
In a line that has had jetpacks for 6 years, 5 years, and the weapons manufacturer, cutting edge tech guy, develops a portable helicopter for his troops.
I feel like the designer was fucking like doing his lines of blow while his kid was watching Inspector Gadget, and he just went, "Oh, that's awesome! Yeah," like just go get your Whirlybird.
That is always what I thought of with this figure. It was Inspector Gadget. How could you not with this guy? He's Inspector Gadget.
And I'm just looking at that harness with the purple and orange, and I almost feel like it wouldn't be that hard to confuse that purple with a hairy chest.
Like he's just bare chested wearing a helicopter.
He's like, sorry, I offend anybody, but just some Greek guy just in a gold suit with a propeller. Hey, what's the matter, you Joe? I'm gonna do.
Oh, that'd be great. Like he's just chilling on the beach somewhere with his helicopter.
Yeah. Relax, guy.
And Sharlock says they could just release this dude the way he is. I do think they wouldn't have to do too much to update the core figure.
No, he is cutting edge.
Yeah, I mean he's still like he's still pretty future-y. So all right, let's look at.
Looks like a flying Amazon box.
Maybe he's dropping off some Amazon packages. So maybe he's bringing you some $35 dial tones.
There you go, Cobra delivery.
Grenadier delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Next day air.
Are we on to yours now? Oh, did I pick that?
Yeah, you got your vehicles here.
Yeah, I'm embracing the Iron Grenadiers for one, but this is the Homer Simpson wagon. But man, what play features this would have!
It's a little bit of everything thrown in there.
Yeah.
I did not have it.
No, me neither. I don't know anyone who did. But as far as if you were to try and change the design of this a little bit, you're kind of looking at a Soviet BTR, like the infantry fighting vehicles that exist. You no glass canopies here, but really you're looking at 8 wheels, turrets with some weapons. It's got merit, and that's about all I'd say about it. I think it would be ridiculous and I would quit, but
it was a really cool looking vehicle, and I actually picked the driver for this for somebody me and Poplender were doing that was absolutely horrible that they could wind up doing and do something with him to make him cool. We'll say bye to Shane. He had to bolt
to get
up for work tomorrow. So see you, man, if you're still here. Oh, and Sharlock talking about Annihilator changed the backpack to a drone to something to deliver him into the battlefield.
Yeah.
So the Razorback, man, it's neat. It just would never. I was still buying the figures at this time, but I didn't have. I don't think I had any of the Iron Grenadier vehicles aside from uh, Destro. I don't think I had any of the Grenadier vehicles. Pop Blender had several of them. He had the Demon, but I didn't. I don't think I had any.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to remember if my cousin had any. I don't think he did. I never saw any of this stuff till I started collecting as an adult.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, once you're out back then, you're kind of out. Yes, it was the Demon that the despoiler docked on.
Yeah. I think the gimmick with this one was it was articulated in a way, right? Like you could bend it a certain way.
Yeah. It actually wound up looking like the I think the Hurricane, the mask vehicle that I think that was the Hurricane, the 57 Chevy, I think, that popped up in the middle. It's kind of that same gimmick. So, all right. So, one more vehicle for this year. This thing.
That was one of my picks too, was it?
Yeah.
Or was that yours?
No.
I just think that looks badass. And honestly, it kind of seems to me like this would almost be better served if we painted it white. It would just look more like one of the more military winter vehicles than a desert vehicle to me. But I think it works as a concept, and I would actually get a little excited if they did something like this.
I like it. I think it looks cool. I mean, I didn't have it. But you're right. Just the design of it. Look at all the guns on that thing, man. Maybe replace the bottom cannon with some sort of a dozer blade or a minesweeper.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Give it some sort of attachment. Give this thing a bit of function. Keep those side guns. This would be wicked.
I'm always going to say a dozer blade because I know what it's like to drive bulldozers. So put a dozer blade on the front of this with a splitter edge on the bottom, a ripper edge on the bottom, put a ripper on the back of this thing. You got a badass vehicle there.
Yeah. Putting a dozer blade on this would make it an engineering vehicle for me, like mine clearance and everything. It would make sense.
Yeah. Yep. Eric said it needs dick missiles.
Everything needs dick missiles.
Everything's better with dick missiles.
Damn
so
right.
while we've already got yours pulled up, Crow, let's go on and do your last four, and then that way I don't have to switch back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want me to.
You'll have to remind me what year we're on then. I'm barely hanging on.
So yeah, I know you're drooping a little bit. So we're up.
Well, I'm an hour ahead, right?
Right. That's just speed up our last little bit here.
No rush, bro. I'm good.
We're up to 90. So these next four will be the end for this segment. You want to do that, or you want me to?
Go with your gut, buddy. You've never steered us wrong yet.
I hope not. So, all right. So these next ones are Crow's last ones. These are the 1990s. So this son of a bitch right here.
The groundskeeper.
This dude right here.
Well, so you talked about Muskrat. Here's your Reeves, right? He gets Muskrat's hat. Glasses, leave them on, but give him that awesome machine gun / weed whacker combo and just let her rip. So, I don't know what else to say about this guy.
I like the idea of this guy because this is kind of a newer, this is your kind of updated Recondo a little bit. Rekondo's a jungle trooper, but when you see Recondo in the cartoon with a machete cutting some vines, making the way through the jungle for him, similar with this guy. I like the idea of him. I like the figure, okay, but that stupid saw blade weed whacker mechanism just absolutely ruined the idea of this guy for me. And then if you ever went back and watched any of the Deke cartoons, the Dicks, so he was a big character in those seasons, and I hated him in it.
Oh, really? I know. I don't. I'm gonna have to get caught up because I can't
Yeah,
believe they gave focus to it.
don't you're better off for not ever having seen it.
Well,
I
that's what
thought the
somebody
same
said
thing.
about Metalhead. Was it Metalhead?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
fire, fire. And I watched it. I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, it is exactly like that.
Hmm. Bang, 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 bang. Well, this dude
But
is like know it all. Like he's a main player in those seasons.
okay. Again, I like the Buck. I think the Buck would make a really good Buck. But yeah, it was that piece of kit that just made me sit there and go, okay, how do you make that for classified and not mock the shit out of it?
Yeah, it's terrible. And again, like it's so tied to this guy, they would have to do something
Well,
similar but make it work.
the other part of it is just the things you'll put on a guy and then call him a jungle assault guy, a jungle assault specialist, right? His arms are rolled up. He's got not a lick of cam, so he's not really going into the jungle without a ton of bug bites. And then they give him a weed whacker that, I picture a ripcord on this thing. There's nothing stealthy about this guy. And he's got so much kit to get snagged on trees. I'm just like, if you hadn't have put the word jungle assault in there, I would have
Yeah.
accepted this a little bit better.
Yeah, he's an engineer, more of an engineer type with maybe a secondary in infantry.
Oh yeah,
That's what I see for this guy.
yeah.
But they could do it. They could do it. So your Cobra this year was this guy.
How do you not love that helmet? That helmet is.
I thought I had this guy out. I didn't. I thought I got him out. I thought I got a couple of my Real American Heroes out. That's the
This
only thing I
guy.
really don't like about this guy.
Yeah, I like the cam on the buck. I think the buck would work, but that helmet is a tragedy.
So I know why I thought I got him out because I got his gun out.
Oh, is that why?
I was gonna get him out, and I wound up just grabbing his weapon because I
Okay.
always loved dropping this gun. I always really liked this gun. It's got the handle on the side for him where he
Mm.
can hang on to it. So this is one that I think that we'll probably wind up getting before
Oh,
too much longer.
we'll get all the Vipers very soon, I'm sure. This one, like I said, to me, it's that the challenge on this one is strictly that helmet. You
Yes.
need to make this not look like an Illuminati kind of weird Cyclops thing, right? But then I look at what they did with the Saw Viper helmet, and I'm like, they didn't really correct that. Why would they
Yeah, they
correct
didn't.
this?
They made Saw Vipers worse, and this one is so like Sherlock says he always confused this guy with the Saw Viper, and it's because of that helmet. Like the figures don't really look that much alike at all, but that helmet with that singular green visor, but the angular, like this pyramid, he's a pyramid head from Silent Hill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's creepy as fuck. Like, and then the other part about it is just at some point, I'm like, okay, so does every Viper have to grow a pencil mustache?
Like
Like,
the barracks was listening to Jimmy Buffett. Wish
yeah.
I had a
So if you're gonna
pencil
troop build them, they
mustache.
all will have the pencil mustache. They're all dial tone.
The Ricky Ricardo kind. I do really like this figure though, so I don't really even think they need to change much other than the helmet with
No,
him.
again, it's one of those ones I picked just to see is it a design challenge or it stood out.
Yeah, and that's a weird. It's like a sparring helmet with snow goggles, like ski goggles on it. It's so weird.
So you
But
you ha- you have this guy. My question to you is, what
yeah,
is in the backpack? Because they look like rockets, and I'm like, did he have a rocket launcher? He's got rockets all over him. What's launching them?
I don't even remember, honestly.
No.
Let's see. I tell you what, I'll pull up 3D Joe's real quick,
Yeah, because it
and
looks like he's got them on his left leg too, according to the painting, not on the buck. But
because
regardless,
I don't remember the backpack.
mm.
I have it, but I don't remember it.
And it's too dark to make out in this image too.
Yeah,
So.
I was trying to zoom in, but
Mm.
I'm not able to. So,
Yeah, say lovey.
oh wow, so that's okay. That's pretty crazy. So let me pull this off and go to nope, wrong button. So we're gonna look at him here. Got him pulled up. All right, so it's climbing gear. He does have
Yeah. Okay.
rockets, and he's got this little secondary pistol here.
Okay. So he has something that can launch that shit.
So it can store. I forgot the gun ported onto the backpack actually. So let's go
Yeah.
down and back.
Yeah. I mean, that buck looks really kind of cool. Rep to the helmet.
Rifle, pistol, hose, rope, grappling hook, and backpack. So maybe they're not supposed to be rockets and they're supposed to be like extra grappling hooks or something. I don't usually they've got them laid out with the weapons, but they didn't do it for him. So he did
Mm.
come with the real like Alpine hit and run similar.
Mm-hmm.
So that answers that question for us.
There we go.
All
Is that
right.
the end of mine? Are we
You
into
got
yours
your
now?
have your vehicles.
Oh, right. I did pick vehicles too.
We got 2 vehicles, and then I'll blow through mine.
Oh,
Pretty.
don't blow through yours. Take your time.
So there you go.
Come
This
on.
one
Who
here.
doesn't want this? I think this would be a cool little thing, honestly. It would scientifically, I don't think it makes any sense, but
It is neat. I wasn't interested in it when it come out, but I think now making it, going back and having a single person. I mean, we're gonna get the Fang. This is the GI Joe version of the Fang.
and yeah, and like I said, this was so late in the line. This was, back to a small little handheld vehicle for one figure. Like I think I think Hasbro really needs to dig up the one figure vehicles just for the price points anyways.
Yeah,
Um and this one to me it's more compelling to do than a lot of other ones that they were doing at this point in the line, I think. That's all.
yeah, because we're starting to get into this territories where you got to start making some hard choices.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just wouldn't know
Tony,
what kind of play features this would really bring to the table aside from exactly
yeah,
what you see, a spinning blade and a canopy.
yeah, I think that would probably be about it. And don't forget the giant GI Joe logo on the canopy to hinder your visibility there. So,
Well, yeah. And kids on board stickers are on the other vehicles. This one, yeah,
right,
you put that right where you need to look, right?
my other helicopter is a dragonfly.
Yeah.
Tony's Figs in the house. What's going on, Tony? How you doing, man? So you got the Locust, and then you have the Hurricane for Cobra. This is badass too.
Yeah, so the Hurricane, I was looking at that because this one, it would be testing that retail shelf parameter. I don't think they could do it as a retail, especially if they were going to throw in some of that play factor in it. But I don't know. There's just something about this that while it's complete science BS to me, it actually is a neat design. And I credit the designer with, some outside the box thinking. I just personally, I would rather have any other vehicle than this, but I could see it workable. That's all.
I think it's right on the line of retail versus I don't see them doing it. I don't think it's big enough for a HasLab, but it would be a bigger more expensive retail vehicle if they did it. It's not huge, but it's not a
No, it's a
it's not tiny.
it's not a tall profile. It's like a little dome, and then everything else around it is pretty flat, right?
Yeah,
So as far as plastics use, I feel like that's a tough call to see,
it's
right?
very sleek. It's like a kind of like a two person fire bat a little bit.
What I liked, yeah, that's what remind me a bit of the Firebat, like another kick at getting a Firebat like vehicle in the line, but also paying attention to how if you look at that little bottom part right between the like where they show how it works, the way they're explaining a VTOL landing for this thing, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I love it. We got it all down here.
Hmm.
The figure, I was looking at the figure and I was like, I don't want this figure. This dude's awful.
Oh, I can't even. I'm blowing him up, and I can't get enough resolution to
Yeah,
even see if he was worth it. Vapor.
it's too low res. Yeah. And Tony's like, things must have come out after I stopped Joe Toys. I'm an old
Oh
fuck.
yeah,
This is 1990, Tony. So we're
yeah.
doing
And Tony,
86 to 90.
the premise here, because I know you would get this because you do so many amazing conversions and one ups of Joe lines, was as a toy creator or designer, what challenges would you love to embrace, like almost on a dare, like make this thing work and make it sell, right? So that's kind of where we're coming from. Not that we necessarily want these things in the line.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
how could they do it and what could they do to make it work? So I like this thing. No, I mean, would I buy it? Depend. It would. This is something that would definitely depend on how the price point come out for it, and I have no doubt they could make it look awesome. You know.
Well, and that's, to me, it's okay. Every flyer is going to be a HasLab. Is this how the line progresses? No, that's, at some point the line will just stop, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted a flyer, is this something that's achievable? Yeah. Could it be modernized? Yeah. But I think there's a long list of flyers that we can get in there first, right? Like Skyhawks and Fangs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but so there are crow's picks from 86 to 90. And I'm gonna go through mine here, and I'm gonna try to move along because it's getting late. You're an hour ahead where you're at.
That's okay. We still have 18 there. That's 18 reasons to keep going, buddy.
That's right. So for mine that I would like to see, I'd like to see Dogfight. He's the mud
Ooh.
fighter pilot. Um, I like this dude. He always kind of looked like I always thought he looked like Ace Duck from Turtles. And he kind of has that Indiana Jones feel to him. Wears a leather bomber, wears an old school pilot's cap. Now he come
Mhm.
with the Mud Fighter, and that is a horrible vehicle. It's got the little one person fighter with the propeller in the back.
Yeah, I
I,
almost picked it. I thought
yeah,
it was a fun design. Yeah.
I don't see how they could possibly, because again they're selling, we talked about they're selling these to us, so I don't I don't think that Lenny could make me want to buy a mud fighter. It's gonna be a 80 100 bucks, so I don't think I could go for a mud fighter, but I could go for dogfight. I just always thought he was a cool looking figure. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get the big ass handlebar mustache. You got a bigger mustache than Wild Bill. Rivals Wild Bill.
Yeah.
They're a mustache rivalry. So
He's
there was
got a lot of classic appeal. That's what I like about him.
yeah, he is a very 85-ish, 84, 85-ish looking character.
Mhm.
He looks like, put him beside Kill Hall, with the jacket and the cap. So I just always thought he was a good looking figure. So
Mhm.
I also have the Raider.
Oh, you did pick that, eh?
Yeah, I guess so. I think we got a couple. We might have a couple that we doubled up on. So I thought it
Sounds
was too
good.
cool. It was too cool not to pick. So
Mhm.
then for my Cobra, I have Track Viper. is a Hiss 2 driver. I really
Okay.
always liked this guy. And yes, Slipstream 2 was in there that year. Um, I like the gray. He's a more futuristic looking Hiss driver. Hiss driver was one of my favorite outfits in all of Cobra. The guy's a little plain though, so I think they'd have to spruce his uniform up. His gray is a little plain, but give him that singular red face visor,
Yeah,
built-in helmet.
I would have to see the figure on its own. Like this picture doesn't show you the arms and legs, right? So, but
Yeah, I really should have. I really should have grabbed the figure
I
instead
just
of the
look at
file
that.
card.
I look at that face mask, and I think one of the things that it reminds me of is how understated it is on the Iron Grenadiers. How good that red face mask actually looks on a bat for the Iron Grenadiers, and I feel like it would look just as good on this, like on the white Hiss driver. That same level of shiny gloss red. Yeah, I think that looks nice, like conservatively nice. It doesn't reek of Cobra to me though. It doesn't. I don't even see a Cobra logo on him.
He doesn't have one, but
Hmm.
he's a very he. It looks like Rom Space Knight. I hated his pistol that he come with, but I just
Hmm.
always like this design. Make this whole piece here, make this white, put a red Cobra logo sigil on his chest, keep this silver everywhere. Maybe a slight retool where the helmet's not quite as boxy in the back. But I always thought this was a good looking figure, and they're gonna do the Hiss too at some point.
I think they have to.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
I
agree.
think
I almost had the Hiss 2 on my list, I think, at some point because I was like,
yeah.
people are gonna want Hisses. I
Sorry,
just
look,
I have
text
this
there as
thing
we
about any character that's coming in white and working in an armored vehicle. I'm just like, did you talk to anybody?
yeah. Is that tell us how good of an idea that is, Crow?
Yeah. No, he levitates into the driver's compartment, never touches the vehicle as he climbs up it. Ah,
doesn't
time to drive the
doesn't
Hiss.
doesn't have to do any of the maintenance on it. And it's not touching any of
No,
the grease on any of those rollers or anything at
yeah.
all.
But
Uh,
made the mistake of bringing his coffee into the driver's hall. Oh shit. Uh,
hope it's one of those Yeti cups with the nice tight fitting lid. Them
no,
tight fitting lids. All right, so got this some bitch on here. I never had it. I would take this all day. Definitely a HasLab.
this is
Uh,
the one that splits into two.
yes,
I thought this was hilarious.
it's
Like it,
crazy. The design's crazy.
it is crazy. Yeah, it's 100% zany as shit. But I get why you picked it. I forgot this came out in those times.
It and if it wasn't for the fact that it splits into two, like it's somewhat probable or plausible, I guess. Not probable, but plausible. But what I like is I don't know why some of these I can blow up and some I can't. But what I like is they're carpet bombing the shit out of something with this thing. Look
Honestly,
at all
dude,
this.
that's really the only thing I like about this because I'm trying to think about the scientific and aerodynamics of separating in midair to go two complete opposite directions. Just the torque on the frame alone, right? But yes, the carpet bombing, I was like, man, that's what the Night Raven needed.
Yeah,
Just
that was
a big old bag of bombs, just
yeah.
for 3 days.
That really was the only thing missing from the Night Raven. But they were going more for the Cobra-ized SR-71 type of look for the Raven. So I can see why they didn't. I mean, it had plenty of damn missiles as it was. So I just think this thing's cool as shit. I saw it somewhere. They had one set up. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I was still buying Joe's and playing with Joe's at this point. I can't believe I didn't want that plane. I didn't. I mean, I would have had it. I'd have gotten it for something, birthday or something, but for whatever
Mhm.
reason, I didn't get this. So that's how it works, Crow.
I feel
Just
like
like
it was a
that.
parent that sat there and did what I just did. Like, how the hell? No, I'm not buying my kid this. I can't even explain this. He's gonna
So
ask me how that works.
uh, I don't remember if I ever asked my dad how any of it works, but I was convinced with my dad's mechanical and welding skills that he could build me a Mecha Godzilla. And I never did get that Mecha Godzilla. I should ask him about that tomorrow. All right, so all right, so there's
Yeah,
there's
that's.
that thing, Condor.
I don't
I
think your
love it,
dad's gonna
man.
see that question coming, man.
No, we talk every night for anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes or an hour. And I think if I ask him if he's got my Mecha Godzilla ready, he's gonna ask me if I started doing hard drugs. Like
Yeah.
what?
So
What
I
the
like,
hell is a Mecha Godzilla?
yeah, Daredevil Dave. That's kind of what I was wondering. I'm glad you said this. It's called the Z-25 because it has 25 pieces of ordnance. There we go. I
Hmm.
was wondering if
Okay.
we had a count on how many bombs that was packing, because you can see the
Okay.
little dialy piece in the middle of how you would work those out.
Yeah, it's great, man. I love it.
Mhm.
Play features. That's this what I want. Where's my button to spin the blade on my dragonfly? Like,
Oh yeah,
uh,
that's the
all right,
big thing. I can rip this apart all day for just the sci-fi elements, but if I worked at Hasbro and I said to my staff, I want you to design me a vehicle that's going to get a lot of kids excited for play, this guy
yeah,
wins. This
this
guy
this
won
dude, he wins Employee of the Month, Designer of the
just
Month.
just for play. I'll take him outside and beat him up later, but for play, he wins.
But
Right?
so, can you see this guy in this plane, and he's flying with Ace in the Sky Striker, and they pull a Top Gun, and one of the two of them inverts. But when they invert, Ace looks down and sees this clear hatch on these wings with all these bombs and these two big ass heat seeking missiles up front. Ace is going to be like, oh shit. My day just got worse.
I think A I think Ace would just block out from trying to think about it all. It's like, how does this even uh, his eye turns inward and
He starts looking like Debo Pigeon Coop.
yeah,
Uh,
but it's an intake and it's a forward jet and it's a gun. I don't know.
okay. Cannot. It's like Mindbender in the Dream for Serpentor. Like, cannot comprehend. What does it mean?
Yeah. Oh, now Dave's nailing me for Canadian. Yeah, I said Z, you said Z. Whatever. God
Hey,
damn
it's
it.
it's a military designation, Dave.
Yeah. Why you have to put up these walls between us, Dave?
Dave always trying to start some shit,
It's
dying and shit.
hard. It's hard being neighbors to the Americans and having letters like Z and Z get in the way.
Yeah, it's pronounced differently up there.
Hmm.
All right, no, it's not. It is not zebra. It's Zed. Look it up. All right, so
What else you
next
got?
week, let's get to something else. So I got this dude. I've talked about him before. I got Rampart here. So I don't love the figure. Hey, do away with the dust cover, the bee hat. So do away with this. But I like I like the other design of this. Other than, I mean, they got his dick hanging out. Other than that, I don't know what. Just get, man. If you had a
Say
fine
what?
tip Sharpie, you had a fine tip Sharpie.
I I can't unsee that now, Darren.
You're welcome. So
Eh.
I will be asking Jay Yojo Depot if he has an extra Rampart now. And he's going to look at me and go, "Who?"
What the
Like, well,
fuck are you
one of
talking about?
one of those shitty 90 ones that you forgot about. But I digress. I do like this guy. I like his outfit minus his dick. Um, he's a shoreline defender. He's got the mic. He's got the goggles blocking. He's looking out over the ocean, looking for threats. And I know that the beehive hat is just part of his blending in. He's on a seawall somewhere, and he's ready to take care of business. Some bitch comes with a RPG and repeater's damn machine gun. So he is a one man coastal shore landing defense force. And I think he would fit in perfect with shipwreck, with torpedo. When we get wetsuit, you could put this dude in charge of a couple of Carls, the diver, the Navy diver. Have Rampart pointing out where to those guys to hoof it to swim to. Yeah, we got a Cobra, whatever, come floating in on us, and I'm seeing it. I can't hit it with my missile, but this is the coordinates, guys. Get underwater and plant some demo on the bottom of it. What do you think about Rampart?
I actually really like Rampart as the figure buck. It's one of the things about that you didn't like that I did like was that hat and the neck protection that he's getting, right? Because if you think about it, if he's sitting out there in the hot sun, that's keeping the back of his neck from getting sunburned. If he's standing still, it's keeping bugs out from crawling out on him, and it's keeping him dry. And moreover, it's different than what we've seen with more Joe figures in the line. I like that look. But if you were to take that head and swap it out, just get rid of that mesh, you would have a German Panzer Grenadier from World War II.
Yeah,
I'm not even
yeah,
joking.
they were dicks too.
Dude would be a Nazi,
Yeah,
right?
you got the
And
jacket.
you see, now that you pointed out the exposed dick, I cannot unsee that. And I'm thinking they made this guy carry around a rocket launcher and a massive machine gun, left him alone to defend the coastline. That dick got abused because look how easily he's holding that stuff. Buddy has Popeye forearms, man. And I know what he's
Yeah,
doing while he's waiting for an attack.
yeah, do too. Do
Like
too. He's
that
polishing
is some
equipment.
superhuman wrist strength.
Polishing his equipment. So what
There's a
he's
reason
doing.
that dick's exposed. Yeah, exactly.
It's my secret
He
weapon.
ramparted himself pretty good.
Sherlock says Rams part.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, like I didn't give a shit about this figure when I was a kid, but it is a figure I would like to see because he is a specialist. There's not a bunch of people that does what he does. He's another tripwire. He's got he's got one job, and you hope he does it well. You got one job, Rampart. You got two
Well,
jobs. Like shoot at the ocean and hold your jump.
then that's just it. It's like, this is showing the Joe budget restraints, right? Because he's doing two people's job. Either you're a rocket launcher guy or you're a machine gun guy. But budgetary
Yeah.
restraints, Rampart, you're doing both at the same
Yep.
time.
Yep. You handle it, Rampart. So, all right.
Defend this coastline.
Yep. Defend it. So I
Yeah.
got the hammer.
No excuses.
This is
Yeah.
Anybody that makes a list such as we're doing tonight. This has got to be on it.
I agree.
I wish I had this thing when I was a kid. This is one of the vehicles that they could do, keep it in a lower price point, and they don't really have to update much of anything. They could just about scale this thing up, and there it is. Like whoop, there it is. Just make it bigger.
You want to know? I can't agree with you more. I'm just going to keep agreeing with you in different ways. But one of the things I loved about this, fuck the doors. That when
Yeah,
I see a
no
Humvee with
doors.
no doors on there, yeah, I'm thinking that's asking for it, but that's lightweight. That's all guns out, quick
Fast.
dismount. It's awesome. I
Get
loved
in,
seeing that.
get in fast, get out fast, hit them with
Yeah.
all this firepower.
This is
That is a
this
big
is a
ass.
Night Raider. I would prefer this in a darker color, but I love it. For
Yeah.
classified, it would be awesome.
I see we started seeing around this year time was when we started seeing more desert colors because what were we doing in 1990? We were over
Uh,
there defending Kuwait, and
1,000
it was
points a
all over
light.
the news. All over
Matt
the
Bennett.
news.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we started seeing some of these desert and a little more plausible, realistic vehicles when they did it. And I'm all in for the Hammer. I would buy it if they announce this bitch tomorrow. I would put my money down. Take my money.
Damn
Take my
right.
money.
Now here's the thing, right? So remember we talked not that long ago about gung ho and the Marine Blues, right? Remember why GI Joe became so popular was because they were trying to repopularize their military after Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and around the 90s, while it's starting to dwindle down, they're starting to pay attention to what they were doing in Iraq and reflecting this. And now what happened when I said let's do gung ho in the Marine dress blues? No, the lawsuits, and it's too connected to the real militaries and things like that. I'm like, when did this happen? When were we afraid of connecting like that? You know what I mean? I get
Yeah.
it, but it's sad to see it happen to GI Joe.
Yeah. And it's, eventual corrosion of, the, I'd say art form, but the property, it's eventually all going to get hit with some kind of
Yeah.
new advancements or new way of thinking or something that gets sucked into it and reforms
Well,
things. So,
it's progress making us lose sight of the intent of the product, right? So
yep.
yeah. Oh, I just had one device die on me. I'm trying to keep my phone alive right now. It's on life support. So do you have more, or are we
Yeah.
still? Yeah, I was gonna say we still have another one, right?
I was,
This thing has
well,
so much hardware too.
yeah. So I was just trying to look something up. Pop Blender had sent me a text about some real world stuff that was going on, and I was trying to see what he was talking about. It's that apparently a Black Hawk collided with a passenger plane
Oh
carrying 60
Jesus!
people, and it's at Reagan National in DC. So
I'm
I guess
sorry,
that's going on
guys.
right now. So,
Oh, that's
so he
terrible, guys.
was,
I'm sorry to hear
that was
that.
going on. So yeah, it's not a good idea. Well, then Blackhawks just fall out of the sky like fucking swans or something.
Well,
Look,
apparently we bought a bunch to patrol our border with for you, so don't
mm,
like hearing
they
that.
them damn things, man. They go down like a fat kid on a seesaw.
Well,
So got a hammer, and as soon as I get this sized back, we're gonna go look at this dude right here. I think a lot of people,
undertow.
probably looking forward to this guy right here. Iron Grenadier, Destro's Divers. These were absolutely some of the worst, nastiest trooper guys in any of Cobra or Iron Grenadier. You read this kind of shit that these guys, the environment that they had to deal with, swimming through toxic waste and shit, and ruthless. They're just absolutely ruthless, and it don't hurt that they look so cool.
Yeah, they do look cool. I don't know. I think the only thing I don't like is the choice of putting the trident on them when you've just given them a really cool bomber skiff. But it works. I could see this being an amazing classified figure, really.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have to do much to bring this guy up. He's already got the green, got the gray, the green, got the shirt that's a little bit, it's kind of like an orangish purple. The mask is green. Well, he looks good. I mean, just maybe mute some of it down and blend it a little better somehow. But then he comes with the sled, with the missile, and then he's got his own Barracuda.
I was just gonna mention
Barracuda.
So we know how Hasbro loves their pet companions, and I think a Barracuda it's a great companion. I hope it has different facial expressions, like angry and happy Barracuda. You know,
Good boy Barracuda.
that's right. Excited and ready to kill you. You know, but just how you I'm trying to picture him posing on the shelf. It's like, now where do I stick this Barracuda? And it's just from a hook hanging upside down off the side of a vehicle, right?
Yeah, like it's caught. You hang him off the Fortnite boat. Like you want to rig something up on the back, like where you can hang the catches up from the hook. You know?
I think he just goes straight into Fiona's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this dude is one that I'm in for whenever he shows up, and I think he's gonna show up. So I'm all in for Undertow. So let me get back to my main.
Black and red does not look bad anywhere you put it, right? So
Nah. So hey, we seen this a minute ago.
oh, hello, friend.
So there's our second double up is the Hurricane. I do really dig the Hurricane. So that is my last one. That is up to 1990.
Oh, yeah, but this is a better chance for people to blow up the screen if they wanted to see what you're talking about with Vapor. Because Vapor is a really weird looking pilot.
So there is Vapor. He's got all these cybernetically enhanced shit. Like he's basically like a cyborg pilot. They got into his head, and I'm gonna see if I can pull the file card up and make it legible. And not really pulling up legibly. But he's had all kind of brain implants and all this augmented stuff to help him fly this thing. And he's not like, the figure could be redone and make him pretty cool. Just this version, they're gonna need to bring the game to fix this guy up. But could be done. But I would take the plane without that pilot. So yeah, Gasland said, Borg Collective. Pop Blender says, I'd like a VTOL plane for sure. We have a friend that might buy a VTOL plane. See if you can talk him into buying a VTOL when he buys his next one. Let's see. I'm down to the bottom. VTOL tooling now. Cobra Borg. So I believe that rounds out, because I put all mine together by year. So I've got the second half of mine in here too. So yep, that rounds out my picks. So guys, what'd you think? I appreciate you guys listening to it. This is just kind of all, theorizing and being funny. And where'd you go?
I had kicked myself off for the last few minutes going, what? He doesn't see that I'm off.
Well, I thought that you muted your camera and you were doing something, and then you just was still gone. I didn't see you down at the bottom. I had the
screen blowing up, and when I went to go scroll it down, you know what else was blowing up? The leave button right underneath everything.
Oh yeah,
and when I went to leave scroll up, it clicked it.
that leave button's a motherfucker. So we'll just when you're fooling with the leave button, that's the only thing you can do is just,
all right, Dan.
That's it. That's all you got.
Every time you do those, I never hear what is being said because it's because I'm your guest, it mutes your clips for my stream.
It shouldn't though. You should be able to hear that.
No, I don't.
That's disappointing. I do it for you too, not just the chat. It's for you.
Oh, it's special.
Man.
Well, we
I'm
made it through the
sad.
list. That's all that matters.
Yeah, well, we had some other stuff that I felt like we really needed to talk about with the leaks that we almost forgot, and I really wanted to show that Musk and the kit car, the gym. I wanted to had some other stuff I wanted to show, and it was some things that Punk did not show off on Monday. So Punk does his show. We all watch his show. He covers the news. We listen to him, get his opinions, but every now and then something will break between Monday and Wednesday. So if it's something like that, I'll try to snag it. If it's something I know our subscribers that watch us would be interested in, and I'll try to grab that story, and so we can show it here. And that the ramen stuff popped up, and the gym, and so all that stuff, the leaks I got that day. So yeah, we like to have fun over here. We try to inform a bit, but we like to try and have a good time. And same thing with Pop Blender. We're neither of us on either show here are going to get super serious. We just like to theorize and crack jokes and just entertain everybody. I hope we're able to do that. So I do have this thing. I got this in the mail the other day. You got one of these bad boys. So come to me. This is the Punk Bomb. Very, very humbled to get one of these. He sent me one, and I was gonna hang it. I got to figure out how to hang it. I'll try to hang it up here where it doesn't make too much noise. But this thing's freaking awesome. If you don't have one, I recommend ordering one. But it is badass. Pen actually comes out. And there's your Punk with Toys pen / keychain, and it has a spring. The handle will actually pop off of it. So now your grenade is triggered. Do what?
What have you thrown it at so far?
I haven't thrown it at anything other than tripwire.
Okay. So the next time you're in town, right, you want a good laugh, you find a cop car that's parked.
I see where this is going, I think.
No, we don't need to finish this thought. I'm just saying, they are convincing looking.
I actually, it does. It looks very real. I've got a real one in the living room. I've got an egg in there in my display case. I love it. I appreciate Punk sending that to me.
That was nice.
And he does have those available on his store as well.
Yeah.
So let me just hit the chat here, see what's going on, see if we got any craziness in here, and we'll get ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Female figs. Kids will think that's a poke ball. Yeah, poke it. Poke it in the ass.
Pokemon, yeah.
Let's see. So, all right. Go through that. There was one other thing that I was gonna bring up, and I didn't have it pulled up. Didn't have it pulled up, which was completely my bad. So see if I can find it real quick. I know how to find it. Something I want to touch on. Won't take but a minute.
No, it's okay.
What you got going on tomorrow?
Got some appointments in town. Gonna pick up some more wood for the Silent Castle to start working on the top, and that's about it. Appointments, throwing my phone around, things like that.
Word. Let's see. I found my. See if I can find it another way.
Okay.
What's your ETA on your castle on getting your part 2 out?
Probably by Saturday, I think. Like I was saying, I needed there to be progress to show, and by Saturday, I think there'll be. Well, yeah, the entire interior should be done by Saturday, and then I'm just working on exterior. So that's it. What is it you're looking forward?
Looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your second part of your video. So I found it over here. So it's something I wanted to call some attention to. If you guys don't know that this is going on, I'm going to share this. So there is a GoFundMe going. This is for Just Jeff. His little dog. He's got a little dog, and it is pretty much his only companion. Loves this little dog more than any and all of his toys put together, and I know how he feels because I feel the same way with my dog. And my dog just had to have surgery. Jeff's dog has a pretty serious condition that can be fixed, can be treated, and probably be overcome. And this is a GoFundMe that was put together just to raise money to help pay for the extensive fluids and tests and everything to try to help him save his dog, because if you got money, it's manageable. If you don't have the money, then you're kind of out of options. So Jeff is a part of our community, part of our fellowship. He's stepped into a role of being around with our crew and our group of fellas that watches each other. And he's kind of become a mainstay in that here lately. Interesting guy. So if this is something anybody is interested in and can help with, he has actually beat his goal, but his goal was just the bare minimum to keep the treatment going. And they do think his dog has good survivability rate, provided he can get the proper treatment that is expensive. So I just want to throw this up there. It's the Dobie's treatment fundraiser. It's Chad's page. He shared it. So if that's something that you guys do, just a good deed to help a fellow collector out and help a fellow collector with probably the one thing in the world that's more important to him than any of his toys, might make a big difference in his life and definitely in his pup's life. So I just want to throw that up. People weren't aware of it. Maybe send a couple of bones his way if you got it, to help him save his dog, because I'd never want to see anybody go through that. If I had a similar issue with my dog, I would probably try going this route too if I had to. So and just call attention to that. It's not always it's not always your mom or your sister or whatever that needs help. These guys are family members too. So if you're interested, go over and check that out, and maybe throw him a couple bucks to help pay for some of Dobby's medicine.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I would have felt bad if I'm calling it a night with that out there and people maybe not knowing it.
Yeah, I saw it last night. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm all about trying to help somebody save their pup or their cat or their whatever. That's something that I'll probably always be on board for. But well, that is our show for tonight. Next 2 weeks, we will be back, and we will be doing the second part of, we'll be doing 91 to 94, and those are going to get weird because the pool of cool stuff to pull from, it gets a whole lot shallower on that end. Kitty.
He
didn't like that. He's like, man, messing with me.
He's my dog. Yeah.
Oh, so what you got going on? What's happening with you?
Not much, like I said, just yeah, everything I said before. Just right now, I'm looking at my battery strength and going, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end. So I'm gonna quickly say goodnight to everybody before my
All right.
phone dies.
All right. We'll be watching for whatever you got coming out. I know you got a tactical perspective coming soon. So
Yes, yep. Shadow Tracker and his tank tactician, thanks to you.
Can't wait to see those. So Sabir, he comes in here like I tried putting a bed in here for him because he's allowed in this room, but he's not really allowed in here. I tried to get a bed for him to chill when I'm in here during the stream, but he don't want to lay in here. Like he wants to be in here next to me, but he's like it's boring in here and he can't see out any windows. So
Yeah.
all right. Gasland got a question for you. What part of Crow's Castle build? Is it part 1?
Yeah, I've got a part 1, but guys, there'll be part 2 will come on the weekend, and really part 1 was just to let you know I was working on it. There's not a whole lot in there, but it does mention we've got a giveaway coming on the channel as well. But we'll talk about that on part 2 on my channel.
All right. And one other thing quick I was going to ask you. So when your situation there levels out, are you going to go back to doing some lives on your channel, just some solo lives?
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into lives when I can be in control of this place. It's just to show everybody, like, I sleep in my studio right now. I'm in a very small little room, so I'm not really comfortable doing lives in this environment right now because I'm not really in control of it. Once I'm set up in my living room and I can put my feet up and relax a little bit, we'll get back to doing lives. I'll host some backyard battlefields so Darren can take a night off and just enjoy being the guy not working the computer. But yeah, that's all coming after April.
All right. I just thought that'd be a good update for folks. I'm sure there's been people wondering if you want to get back to Crow's Corner and then the Crow's Nest and all your good solo shows. So word, look forward to that.
I appreciate you asking, man. I wouldn't have thought to bring it up, but it's just like I said, it's
well, somebody had asked me if you were going to go back to doing solo lives, and I said, as far as I am, I was like, he's got a situation, you know, that he's dealing with getting straightened out at home, and he's got to get past that. And then, as far as I know, he's going to jump right back into it Saturday mornings, I guess, maybe whenever you can do it.
Yeah. Just it's no secret, guys. I have a divorce that's got a lot of my focus going on right now because it's not a nasty divorce. It's just we're at the point where we're about to move to 2 different houses, so I just haven't had the time or the organization to do that stuff the way I was doing it when we started. But we'll get back to it. Appreciate it. That's really all there is to it.
Yes, sir. So Sabir does say Crow of the North. So I've started calling Ryan the King in the North, and I like the sound of that. So is that offensive or embarrassing in any way? Because that's going to be a good way to refer to you, I think.
No, I don't mind that at all. I think that's the highest form of flattery. You put the king in there, man.
Yeah, king and the duck. Yeah,
I wish more people knew that when we're lacking a prime minister right now. You have a king.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not where can I write you in at?
Yeah. So hey, we talked about what I'm doing. What are you doing this week?
I'm not really sure. I do have at least one review that I still need to get filmed. I've been talking about for a good week. I want to try and do some pictures. I hadn't done any pictures lately, so get some of these new Joes out. I haven't done a proper picture with Saw Viper and Doc and Quick Kick and Breaker, so I still haven't done that. Got to do that. So maybe just some tinkering around like that. Some rearranging to do in here with all this newfangled stuff in my way now. Not much, just the random. I'll be in the chats, and next Wednesday I'll be back here for Sevens Wild with Pop Blender, and sure we'll have some kind of cray ass topic for that. I'll be watching him Friday night on the Unfiltered stream, see what kind of wildness he's going to rail on this weekend. And a Tuco Viper update. Tuco Viper should be leaving this weekend, heading to his next destination.
Oh,
and
good.
He should be back on the move. I hope he'll be back on the move by Friday. And so somebody else will have him next week. And it is actually someone who was here tonight. So,
In the chats, yeah.
Yeah, it was somebody who was here tonight. That's all the clues I'm going to give.
So then we got to get the slideshows and all the photos together of Tuco's journeys.
I've started the preliminary on that. I figured out because it's going to be a monster to do.
Yeah.
To do the video. So I have figured out the manner in which I'm going to do it all, the easiest way. So I've got that figured out. So I'm going to start working on a couple of the segments for folks that are done with him. So I got to start working on getting those together. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a ton of work getting that video done, but I'm looking forward to it. So.
Well, yeah, and I know there's a lot of people going to be looking for it because they had their parts in it.
Oh yeah, so he's moving. He's just moving slow. So he shall be in another state this time next week. So that is all I got for you guys tonight. Crow, is that it?
Yeah, that's it for me, boys. I gotta get some rack.
All righty. Well, this has been the Backyard Battlefield, end of January. Thank everybody for tuning in. We kept a good crowd throughout this one. I'm glad you guys showed up and enjoy some of this nonsense we talk about. We like to keep it fun over here. Don't want to go too heavy-handed, and hope we don't have to, but just gonna hope we don't. But fun, good times, good time, Charlie. All right, let's get out of here. Play us out, Crow.
All right, you guys, we'll catch you in 2 weeks' time. Until then, go keep yourself busy on 3-star draw, and we'll see you then. Bye.
2 weeks.